Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Michael, Destro Designs. We're here live from Viper Den Studios. I've had just a stream of amazing guests, and here we are once again, pillar of the community, our boy Stevie Zee. Everybody, holla!
What's up?
What up, Stevie? It's good. Thanks for coming in, bro. I appreciate you taking the time. I do take it very seriously. I just realized I printed out the questions I sent you, bro, and I think it didn't print the middle page. That's hilarious, where all the actual questions are. Anyways, uh, I do take it seriously when people when I say to them, "Hey, man, would you like to come on the show?" And especially people who know, what the show is like, because you're committing to something. Now, nothing you can go at any point. You're like, all right, brother, I've had enough, and then that's it. Absolutely
Right.
that's fine. But like Chris from Sister the Arsenal, the dude was on for like 4.5 hours. I know Dan Salcedo was on for quite a while as well. Evan the architect was on for over 4 hours. I think they're the three who's gone over 4 hours. So anyway, super appreciated, bro. Because I listen. I know we're all busy for sure, so it is nice. Let's see who's in the chat. We got our boy Dave Loverock. What's up, dude? Good to see you in the house. Snow Leopard, what's going on from the other side of the world? Stevie, Snow Leopard is up hanging in the middle of the night to spend
Yep.
time with us. So we really appreciate that. Matt from Mo's Mind. We've got some cool stuff coming up from Mo's Mind. I'm going to tease some stuff. I'm actually going to get right into that in a second here. Paul Morales, what's up, my brother? Paul Morales at the Toy Chamber. Make sure you are following at the Toy Chamber. And I think that's all we got in the comments. I didn't know it was an endurance competition. No, Matt, Matt, I think you were one of the first people to go over 3 hours too, right? I think EG Horror went pretty long. I'll never remember who did what, but I know there was a few. Some did longer than others. Oh, Popco Frenzy, what's up, my dude? About to east, but I'm here. Nice. That's what's up. Make sure you're following Pop Cold Frenzy. Make sure you are. I figured that you meant eat, brother. Make sure you are using. Make sure you are using his links when you are purchasing. I have oftentimes, and I think he would agree that if you're like, "Ooh, I got that extra $30, I want to go buy that whatchamacallit," make sure DM Pop Cold Frenzy, and he will hit you with a link. You'll save a couple bucks. He'll make a couple bucks. Everybody's happy. Because to me, I feel like it's worth. Big Red in the house. What's up, my brother? Glad you can make it. We got some talk about YouTube. Whoop, whoop. I feel like us taking the time to use his links when we're purchasing something that he has a link for is the least that we can do given the amount. I mean, look, it's not even just the value that you're getting for the figures. I like seeing it in my timeline, right? I get to see cool figures, and it's just you have an idea what the prices are. That way. Sometimes if I go on say eBay, I oftentimes have in the back of my head some kind of information that I've gotten from Pop Cult Frenzies, just like the constant idea of how much a figure is going for. Like, I go over there and I see a Techno Viper and somebody's like, oh, $24 with $5 shipping. I'm laughing because it's like I can get that literally for $10 cheaper free shipping, over through our boy Pop Cult Frenzy. So yeah. Make sure you are following that dude and use those links. So real quick, I will just say a big shout out to our brother Big Red. Big Red, always ever awesome, sent me this. So this is my favorite Viper. This is the 3-pack / Cobra Island Viper. There is a difference, right? There's the regular number 22 or whatever. The original Viper that came out in the single package, the Cobra Island one, has the cherry red, right? All the red on all these spots is like a little bit more of a cherry. It's nice. But this motherfucker right here, this is my shit. I absolutely love this figure. I love the scarf, not on the original figure, but I love it. He actually comes with a really cool, which I shouldn't be showing. As a matter of fact, let me take that out. And his backpack actually is good. Everything about it is good. I legit have zero complaints about this. I mean, I do wish that these. I don't know why we got to take those off, right? Why can't they just be on there, right? We're never gonna. It was silly that they had them in the cartoon.
You're just gonna put him. You're just gonna put him over his face shield. Makes no sense.
I mean, what? I always thought, even as a kid, I know everybody as kids was kind of like, you don't notice it at first, but when you do, you're like, yeah, wait a minute, why the fuck does he have this? Like, if he was gonna put him on after he took the helmet off, he'd have him like in a pocket to protect it or something. He wouldn't have him on the fucking helmet. But anyway, it's an iconic look, right? Because to me, the Viper is super important in the sense. To me, it's important in the sense that it took over the mantle from the trooper officer, right? Who had the black neck gaiter thing. Like that to me, when I think of Cobra, the Cobra masses, it's them. It's those Cobra troopers. And then when, season 2 hit, they weren't around as much, or they were carrying boxes in the background while these dudes took up the mantle as the full on fighting force. So I can't thank Big Red enough. He reached out and said, hey, I got this. If you're interested, I will send it to you. And my dude, paid for postage and everything. So Big Red, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
So that's from the 3-pack?
That's from the 3-pack. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Because you said Cobra Island. It threw me off for a second.
I did throw the slash in because I think most people refer to it as the Cobra Island buck, right? It's because I think the only difference is literally the red on the and maybe the original the one with bright red may have came with more equipment. I honestly don't remember. But this is my favorite. This is one of my favorite classified figures. Period.
If you think about it, it'd be like riding a motorcycle with just like the helmet with just the shield that's not tinted, and then it's sunny out, so you just pull your goggles over that, not actually put them on your head.
That's true. And who knows? Maybe those goggles have some kind of property. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it for sure. And even when you take we're spending a lot of time on a figure that's been out for a while, but I don't know. I really appreciate the hell out of him sending it to me, and I just think it's awesome. So cannot go wrong with that. I'm trying to think. I believe yes, he's going to go in with the ranks. I have all of them in a bin together, and yep. It's one of my favorite things to shoot too. I like them next to the trouble bubble. Because in the cartoon, a lot of times they were flying the trouble bubble. The Televipers weren't oftentimes flying the trouble bubble. It was Vipers or Cobra Commander or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Yes. You Big Red says you are welcome. Thank you. It went. Anybody knows when you send me a Joe, it's going to a good home. It's going to sit with its friends. It's going to get used. It's going to get pictures taken, and it's very, 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 very cool. Something else I just wanted to touch on right up off the bat. Stevie and I were talking about it before we came on stage. I'm sure just about everybody has seen in the chat. Chris from Sister Arsenal in the house. What's up, my brother? Glad you could make it. We'll be talking about some new stuff that Chris has dropping. I ordered some more stuff, and then he has. I'm gonna don't ship that yet, obviously, Chris. I'm ordering that. Definitely want that Major Blood crate. Oh, I said it out loud. All right. Well, we'll talk more about that later. But yes, so very exciting. Rock Lockdown has made it. Good to see you, brother. I'm glad you could join us. So what I wanted to just touch on real quick. I'm sure everybody saw one of the couple posts that were going around that I am now going to do some writing for Serpentor's Lair, which is a website. It is the X account that brings us so much joy daily on the timeline. Always sharing not just G.I. Joe stuff. There's other stuff too, which I think is cool, right? Everybody knows what I'm here for. I am here for the G.I. Joes. I plan on, just if I were to try to give you an idea of what you're going to see from me over there, it is going to be a lot of what you see in between the lines of my posts, right? It's I do a lot of supporting, but if you see me like saying something like about something, not just saying like, oh hey dude, that looks cool. Oftentimes it's just going to be a lot of that in much longer form, right? Everybody that hears me talk, damn well that this 140 characters is not enough. That's why I do a 4+ hour podcast. Ooh, yeah, that's sweet. Look at that. So yeah, it's I'm very excited. I did some footnotes and started writing the very first piece that's going to drop. I have to reach out tomorrow. There's a little ins and outs, get me set up so I can just send my stuff in. But that's all the easy, paperwork kind of stuff. That ain't no thing. But I am super excited to say that Bigger Fight Club in the house. What's up, my dude? Abby, good to see you. Oh, dude. I never paid that thing. Oh my God. Yeah, I'll do that a little bit later. But Abby, if you're just joining in, if you didn't hear, I don't know if you're familiar with the website Serpentor's Lair, but I've been announced as one of their new writers. I will be dropping 2 articles a week, starting off just to, get my footing and see what that's like, and we'll go from there. If I feel like I can do more in a time. I'm just so busy with work, and right now I have a little bit of a time between basketball season and softball season because I coach both, and so yeah, I'm going to definitely hit this stride here, put out some stuff. I mean, thank you, I appreciate it, Abby. Well, go check them out. It's basically an 80s nostalgia driven, but it's about collecting comics, cartoons. It's everything that we enjoy about collecting toys, you know, viewed through the eyes of like our childhood. Like they have a big massive X account and they do all kinds of stuff. You know, it's a lot of posting. They'll do like the verses where they'll have card art from one figure, card art from another figure, and be like, who wins this battle? And then everybody gets to vote in the comments, and it's just good. Like it's just good discussion, good, clean, healthy discussion to have on the internet, which I like a lot. And so I will be dropping some thought pieces. Listen, you know, anybody who's seen me on this podcast knows that I ramble a lot. And so it's going to be a little bit of that, but more of a directed laser, right? It's just not going to be so scattershot, just a nice little focus on something, and then I'm going to riff about it. I'm going to talk about figures sometimes too, because man, is there some classified figures. But well, what really happened is I saw this just so I can kind of put a bow on it. I saw an article. Unfortunately, I can't remember which contributor had wrote it, but it was about, you know, the negatives of the supercomputers that we're using for things, and how there was this episode of G.I. Joe that basically told us, that said all of this, you know, back in like the early 80s. And so the piece that was written about it was amazing. I thought it was elite, top-notch writing, and it really got my attention. And that's when all of a sudden I'm paying attention to this website. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here? These guys are writing. What are they? Just they're writing this kind of. What is this? This isn't like a lot of other things. Excuse me, that I've seen on the timeline. I next thing you know, I was all about it. And early last week, I just kind of reached out and was like, hey, how does a dude get something posted on there, man? I want to write some great stuff too. And next thing you know, here we are. We are going to throw down. It's going to just broaden the horizons of the community and bring us all together more with some awesome shit. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, me in the chat. I really, really appreciate it. So I will get back and around to some other housekeeping stuff. I just don't want to leave my poor boy Stevie Zee sitting there while I ramble on. I think I did it to Chris from Sister Arsenal. It was a good 25 minutes where I was like, hey, how are you? So we're going to get right into it. Stevie, thank you for joining us. Everybody in the chat has seen our brother here in the comments in the show. So he's no stranger. We're all here. Bro, well, I think I know the answer to this. When did you get your printer? You've had that for less than a year, right? Like months.
The 3D printer?
Oh, yeah.
6 months.
And already you're cracking out top-notch stuff. Dude, that computer set that you gave me is amazing. I've actually had the fix sitting over there for it. I've been waiting to do it for like 3 weeks. It's one of the coolest things. The detail, there ain't much out there that's got detail like that, right? With all the paint that went into that, the stickers and the thoughts. And what I really like too is I appreciate like getting that little bit of the behind the scenes from you sometimes too, because you're always improving on your idea, right? You have a great idea, but then you're always having more ideas. So I think that's pretty sweet. I think in a very, very short amount of time, bro, I think you've really started printing some awesome stuff. Just another jerk in the house. What's up, my dude? Yeah, I was just thinking today, JAJ, that I feel like I haven't spoke to you in a DM in a while. I'm gonna have to hit you up. I hope all is well. So yeah, dude, I know the soda machines are a big hit. Everybody loves those. Those are cool as hell. What gave you the idea to do the soda machine? Was it something specific, like something from a comic book?
Just Dreadnoks.
Fair enough.
I mean, you know, I guess when I build my diodes, you know, I try to make them as normal as possible. You know, like, I mean, it's a real world situation, you know. Right. So and I try to make, like, you for example, your diodes are very like militaristic, very like, you know, this is the base, this is the mission, this is what's going on, you know. And I think more along the lines of, well, this is an office building, this is a warehouse, this is, you know, this is what's going on. And you know, so having everyday objects just, you know, makes sense, you know. So you know, basically I have an idea and I start building on that and take a couple shots, and then it's, well, you know what, I should have put this and this and that in it. So now I got to go make those, and now I got to make that happen. So
right. Well, I'd have to say that feels pretty spot on with what it is when I see it. It's also similar in the way that if you look at a lot of product shots that Chris from Sister Arsenal does of his own stuff, yes, he's even saying it's same in the comments for sure. It's very similar, right? And I love how both of you do it. I think it's fantastic. If anybody hasn't seen it, right? So one of the first things that there's three things I'm going to mention right off the bat. The first thing that I saw of Stevie's when I first, got onto Twitter was in the algorithm. So I like mentioned GI Joe out loud, and it started showing me stuff. And that's literally how I found you guys. I'm not fucking kidding. And that's how all of this started was a algorithm listening. Giant man size thing. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, and so one of the first things I saw was Stevie made this. It looked like a giant section of a metal wall with the big red cobra symbol on it. It very much, if you look at like the side of the fort mod, what he did was similar to that, but he did it bigger and better. Right? It was much taller, it was much wider, and the rivets and the lines looked more like hardened plated steel, but they were weathered. Had the cobra symbol on it, and it had like red supports. Right? Was there like the red like little triangle supports? And I remember seeing that and go, wait a minute. And then what it reminded me of was like very surveillance port-ish. It was very, remember the Cobra bunker. And just when I saw that this was one of the very first things that I saw that really put that hook in me. It was like really trying to boat me with dioramas and photo taking was seeing that. And I remember thinking it just hit like I was like, oh man, I kind of want like that to take pictures with. I want to have that to stand the figures around because it looked incredible. So I'll always credit that as one of the things that I saw. And then like almost immediately after he was actually working on it was a cave, I think with a skull. And didn't you have Spirit, right? Was Spirit the figure I think that you used in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Just looked totally awesome. And the blending of the colors, so like all the crevices were ultra dark, and then the stone itself had like I think it was like a taupe color to like a white at the very tip. It was just very good. It was excellent work. That was the other one to run. And then of course it was what sealed the deal is that the beachhead dial where he's leaning up against the dumpster. Just one of the best, right? That's just one of the coolest ones I've ever seen. I think it's the shots that are taken of that are also incredibly awesome. So those were just a handful of your things that you had did a while back that I remember seeing. What now? Did you make that big Cobra wall? Was that out of foam, or you didn't have a printer then? I think, right?
No, yeah, all the ones you're talking about is before I got my printer.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a sheet of foam core. The red supports were from a Dollar Tree Christmas tree. The legs that hold that up, I took those off, and I used cereal box card for the fake girders, and and I use dress pins and cut them, super glued them, and popped them all in. That's the rivets.
That's so crazy, bro.
Yeah. Then my Cricut cut the Cobra logo, stuck it on there.
That's so awesome. I mean, it's true creativity right there, brother. I think that's just amazing.
Well, that's really cool. It's looking at stuff like before I got into building dioramas, I did work for WizKids, contract work doing HeroClick maps and stuff, and I started building 3D for that for myself because WizKids never went 3D, and playing a miniature game just made sense instead of a 2D map to use a 3D map. So I got some knowledge from that, and then I got into building war terrain for like Warhammer games and stuff like that. So
nice.
I just took all that knowledge and moved it over into a larger scale. I mean, part of me wishes I still worked in that scale because it'd be a lot cheaper.
Right.
Because you go to build something now and it's like, if I was going to 3D print like, a wall, it's only going to be like 3 inches tall. Well, now I got to make it like 9 to 12 inches tall. So it's a lot more materials and whatnot. And same with, foam and whatever you're using.
Well, that's what's up. I don't know. There's something interesting about, just having using that many different mediums, right? And I think it offers I think that's what maybe makes a lot of like the little things stand out, because it looks different because it is different. You're using different material than say something that's entirely made out of foam or entirely made out of whatever other material. You've got it mixed up to such a degree that the things that look like they're different materials actually look different than each other, because they are in fact different materials. It's not
Right.
brick. It's not brick and fence, but it's, you're using stuff. That fence that you had sent me, man, that was awesome. And that was just like your rough draft. You had ideas of how you were going to improve that. So all that stuff is great, man. Once you told me you were definitely going to get that 3D printer, I was like, it's over now. I mean, because you were doing these amazing things without a printer, and now you're able to do just like so much more, and it's really taking it to the next level. So a lot of that stuff that I was talking about is what I saw, but you had been, on the ground running, doing things for a while. Like when so you were doing stuff previously, like you had said, for making those maps and stuff like that, and then it just kind of jumped over. How long have you been collecting like classifieds since the beginning of classifieds, or did you start getting those recently?
No, I remember the first classified I ever saw was at Walmart, and it was
Nice.
the Rocket, not Rocket. It was the Roadblock, the one that comes with the weird gun, and he's wearing the weird green and
Outfit.
white.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the first wave, I think. So
Yeah. I saw that, and I was like, whatever, because then I figured it was like a one-off because it was in like their collectible area or whatever, and then I was at a GameStop and I saw the first Snake Eyes,
Nice.
and I was gonna buy it and I didn't, and I wish I did, because when I went back about a month later, it was still there. I still didn't buy it, but then when I went back, it was gone. And then I didn't see anything for a while, or I wasn't even looking. And I was at a Target, and they had the one Cobra Commander, and I bought it. It sat in the box for a while, and then I eventually opened it. And then I was at Target again, and I got a Python Patrol Viper.
Nice.
And then that's when I opened Cobra Commander, and I opened the Viper and put them on my shelf. And they sat there for a while. And then I ended up finding a Python Patrol Cobra Trooper, opened him up, put him on the shelf. And then all of a sudden I just started buying them. And I don't even remember what my first Joe was, to be honest with you. I know I started
Shockwave,
heavily.
actually, it was Shockwave.
Yeah, I started heavily with the Cobra guys, because I wasn't finding them anywhere either, and I wasn't a big online shopper back then. So if Target didn't have it or Walmart didn't have it, I wasn't getting it.
Right.
But I'm looking over at them, and I cannot remember my first Joe. Oh no, yeah, no, my first Joe was Snake Eyes. I went to a local toy/comic book convention that was in my town.
Oh,
Just
nice.
this little thing. It was funny too, because the dude had a sign up that said like, all G.I. Joe classified, like 25 or 50% off. But they were all marked up like 50%.
Right.
So you're just paying full price, but I didn't care because they had Snake Eyes with the wolf.
Nice. Which one?
Yeah,
the 30, the Alpha Commando or the 52?
It was the 52.
Okay, it's a cool figure.
I ended up getting the Alpha Commando for Christmas, I think. I bought that one.
Yeah. I think that Alpha Commando is oftentimes, it always kind of fluctuates, but I think that Alpha Commando is like my favorite classified. That one, and coincidentally, the from the 788, he's got the same vest. I don't know. I love that one. But if I've actually been answering when people say, obviously the Alley Viper, the Crimson Alley Viper is amazing. What I've oftentimes been saying is the 788 as a whole, right? That's my answer. The HISS tank, the 3 figures that come with that, the missile system, the Techno Viper, and the fire team. Put it all together. That's my favorite shit. It's ultra cool. I can't every time. It's the first thing that I actually put out of the box and had set up. And so every time I come down here, even if I'm on the other side of the basement, I could just look over and say, "Oh yeah, there it is. That's the fucking his tank."
Right.
But then I had to put the Atlas up so I could see that too. And of course, now that I have the Rattler had to go out there. So. Yeah, no. Listen, anybody that doesn't have a Rattler, and you're unsure if you wanted to get it, I was there. I was like you one day, and then by the grace of Dan Salcedo, he definitely was basically like, let's get this Rattler to you. You need to have this Rattler, and no matter how many pictures you've seen, no matter how big you know it's going to be, no matter what you think, nothing prepares you for how fucking enormous this thing is. When you think you know, but you don't know until you have it in your hand, and you have to move your head out of the way. If you want to like play with it and go like this with it, you have to do it over your fucking head because you can't hold it out far enough for the wing to not blast you in the face. And I'm tall, so it is no matter what. You are not prepared. I believe that's how I said it to my dude Dan Wynn, because he has one that's complete in the box and just hadn't opened it yet. And that's what I told him. I was like, yo, wait till you open that thing, bro. I was like, the Hiss is still my favorite, but dude, that thing is insane. It's truly insane. And it really it just as Dave says here, it is solid when you hold it. Like even when you move the wings and you open it and fold it, you're like, oh yeah, it doesn't really feel. It's not something like I want to do 100 billion times, but it's also doesn't feel cheap. It's you feel like you got your money's worth, right?
Way better.
And the cool thing that I like, and I don't have it set up, but I will, is like there's a blast effect that does. Hold on, I got one right here. Just so I can show everybody. This is a really dumb way to show this off instead of doing it in like a picture, but you can do this. And so the blast effect itself goes onto the wing. So it looks like it's, oh God, I'll never get this on now. I'm trying to do it on camera, but yeah. So can you see that? See how it looks like it's firing off the thing? How awesome is that? Yeah. So anywho, it is amazing. Thank you so much to my dude Dan for helping a brother out and getting it in there. I feel so bad because Dan I talk to Dan all the time, and he falls victim to my issue, and you at times too, Stevie, of thinking I responded to a text message and not getting back right away. It's insane. Also have to throw out there big thanks to my brother Paul. Oops, he dropped. I'll have to find it. I think I took his wrist thing off somewhere. But the Mezco Destro, Paul from At the Toy Chamber, an incredible gift. Really just wanted to show it off again because anybody that is like, also on the fence about this Mezco Destro, it is worth every penny. I do believe right now, if you want to get one yourself, you can find it. You can find it at BBTS for $65. I mean, plus they have their shipping, so I think it comes to like $75 altogether. But if you are in the hunt for a Mezco Destro, you can go pick one of those up from over there now. But Paul, thank you again, my brother. I really appreciate it. Let's see. I think there was somebody else. Nice. And so let's jump back even further. When you were young, what was it? Cartoon, comic books, combination of both, the figures, the whole thing?
It's weird. Like, because when I was young, like, I grew up on a farm and I was kind of isolated. But my parents one year for Christmas got me Star Wars stuff, which was all right, but it's not posable, those Kenner figs were just,
sure.
And I was at my grandmother's house, and one of my, third cousin twice removed, whatever, I don't know who the hell he was. He was playing with some dominoes, and he made like a sandbag kind of thing, and he pulled out this G.I. Joe figure, and that's when I first saw it, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And then it just went like in the cabinet in my head, and
right.
And of course the cartoon was on. I mean, I only got like we only got like 4 or 5 channels, and One of them we had to turn the aerial just to get it in. So GI Joe was one of the cartoons that came on. Um, but it was a mix of the cartoon and comic, but it didn't get me into it. It was it was just the toys themselves, and
Right. Right.
you
Same.
know, and I don't know. It was just really weird. I really identified um, with the comic. Um, for me as a kid, it it just made life better for me. That
Mhm.
sounds dumb, but
No. You listen.
you
You're
know,
not alone. You're not alone there, brother.
I mean,
We could probably go down the list, and everybody in this chat would probably and almost certainly say the same thing. That it was. Listen, I was going through some traumatic shit when I was 6, 7 years old with my parents, who ultimately got remarried. But at the time, my dad was a crazy person, and so I can remember fleeing the house with 2 bags of my Joes in my hand, man. They got me through the most ridiculous part of my life. It's not an understatement to say that it got you through. It was better, made your life better. It did for me.
well, it was just weird though because I couldn't use it to connect with people either. Like a lot of kids,
Mhm.
you go to school and you talk about your toys or whatever, and nobody I knew was into GI Joe. It was Transformers or Star Wars or heaven forbid He-Man. Um, and so like whatever I owned was what I got. Like there was no trading, none of that.
Sure, sure.
I had a cousin who came from PA who came every summer, and he would usually have a bag, and
Right.
and I would trade with him, and that would be how I get my old figures back in the day.
Mm.
But yeah, so that's sort of how that worked out. You
Nice,
know,
nice. I traded a lot. At one point, I lived on a block where there was a handful of other kids. Chris, and then I think it was a Brian on the other side, but they had some. So I wound up getting a lot of things that were maybe broken a little bit that were like totally fine to me. You know what I
right?
mean? Oh, you're
Oh
missing
yeah,
a little thing over here. I don't care. I've got the whole whatever. I think a lot of the bigger things that I had, my bridge layer came in the box. I do remember that, and my havoc came in the box. But any of the other like shit that I had, like I had gotten. Oh, my tomahawk was in the box too, but I actually broke that within a very short amount of time. I'm irreparable. I dropped it right into the edge of a coffee table, and it split the plastic like right down the middle. And
right.
then I remember they tried to, and it was no
Yeah.
bueno. I'd use it as like a down Black Hawk down kind of scenario, and that was all you could do. But then it became too hard to even look at it like that, so I just had to get rid of it.
Well, well, the funny thing was too is my cousin, this kid, wasn't even my cousin really. It was Well, yeah, he was my cousin. I don't know. But anyway, he would come down and he would have these figs that he would trade with people in PA.
Mm,
And he'd have these old figs that I couldn't find at the stores. And and he would trade them for guys I just bought that I could go to Kitty City and just get another one. So I'm like,
right, right,
yeah, dude, you can have him and you can have him. Give me that Zartan, you
right,
know.
right,
And
right.
I mean, I felt like I was ripping him off, but I mean,
Listen,
that's
if that's what he wants, that's what he wants.
what he wants.
When you're a kid, you don't know. I remember, so I traded all of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection for cops, and the kid's mom who had the cops, because I think the cops were like way more expensive than the turtles. Because I remember there was something where I did the trade. And I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, I really like those turtles, but look at all these cops that I have." And my
Right,
mom like called the lady and was like, "Hey, I just wanted to make sure that like you knew our kids were trading these toys." And the mother initially was like, "Well, no, I paid a lot of money for those toys. Like, what are you talking about?" And the kid was like, "I don't want them. I want these." And the mother was like, "Well, just go get those back, and we can get you the Ninja Turtles as well." And he was like, "Nope, we already made the deal." And
right.
it all wound up. I kept the cops in the end. I wound up keeping the cops. He and I talk about it to this day. Still, he had those Ninja Turtles. I think up until he made like the last house he bought, they got lost in the move or something like that. He couldn't, or he hasn't been able to find them in like the boxes and shit. But those turtles made it out alive, and I love them turtles, man. I thought those turtles were awesome, and that was in like the heyday of GI Joe. Like that's how cool Ninja Turtles actually are because it broke in like there was. So I did like He-Man at the time, and when right up until GI Joe came out, and then it was like it was almost one of those things. It was what I had at the time, right? What I had was He-Man, and that based around the cartoon. That was the cartoon I got to see. So once I remember seeing there was like they would only have, I swear, if I remember correctly, KB Toys. I remember they had all the other stuff had these huge displays, and there was just like two green shirt Joes at the end of the aisle for the longest time, and I like it was like I like Grunt and somebody else. They didn't even have them for Snake Eyes, so I remember like seeing them there. But I remember not even knowing like what they were because it was just these two dudes. It was like at the end, it just looked like nothing. And then when after 83 dropped and they made now there was like 1, 2, 3, 4. So there was like eight sets, and it was right on this side. It was the Destro with the version 1 Snake Eyes on top of them. And I was like, holy shit, what are these? And I noticed because I was like, oh, these are the two guys that were at the end, but now there's like all these other dudes. And I don't remember who else was there. It was the Grunt and the one of the OG-13, and then it was the Destro, the Snake Eyes, and they had a bunch of other dudes. But I got that Destro, I got that Snake Eyes, and for years I didn't give a fuck about nothing else. Like I didn't mind certain things. Like we were talking about this the other day, like Sectors. I think I had a Sector. I liked Voltron. I thought the cartoon was cool, but my parents couldn't afford those toys. Were like super expensive. And I didn't mind watching Transformers, but I didn't like Transformers like other people like Transformers. You know what I mean? I thought the cartoon was cool. I liked the idea of them transforming. I did like Mask. I thought Mask was super cool, but their shit was so small. And I remember I got the bike that turns into the helicopter, and I loved it, but it just was like I was like, oh. Plus, I think they were expensive, right? I think they were like a little bit more than GI Joes, even though they were smaller. And we never wound up getting those. So speaking of cops, is there a relation to the Sundown character and Officer Sundown? So from what I understand, yes. Now people in the know have come up and brought it to the attention that this GI Joe character, his actual name outside of Sundown varies from what the Sundown in the cops was. But from what I understand, that it is supposed to be just like all the same thing. I can't remember what it is. Cal said it last week that there is also a figure. One of the cops figures is Beachhead's grandson. So there's ties in there, and I hope that we get it. The one thing that I thought was cool was, that this Sundown guy is if I remember correctly, the brother of Headman. And so they obviously went different ways in life. One became an infamous drug dealer, and one became a bounty hunter. Rock Lockdown says Classified Sundown is giving Boba Fett vibes. I agree, bro. I think it's definitely a very, very cool thing. You know what? I don't think I've pre-ordered it yet either. So, dude, I was so busy at work the other day that I completely forgot about the pre-orders. So I didn't get I was gonna buy like 4 Ninja 4 Zartans only because those exclusives, man, they're at first when people can't get their hands on one and nobody knows what's going on. Like, dude, the Breaker and that Crystal Ball, and Dial Tone, he wasn't an exclusive, but for whatever reason, man, anytime I made a trade, people were like throwing the boat at me for those figures, and it was like, I have 3 of them. What are you talking about? Like, what's the big deal? Now with Energon Universe, Mass might be released in Classified. So, I feel like as long as they stay focused that the main part of the tunnel is all about actual G.I. Joe stuff, I absolutely don't mind, this Sundown character, or, hey, maybe we get a Matt Tracker and maybe one other guy and they give us a vehicle. I don't mind that. Make it part of the universe. That's okay. What does concern me is a Transformer, kind of link up there, because we are getting the comic is pretty damn popular. From everybody that I speak to that gets it says that it's an awesome series. It's really great. But me personally, and I've had this, I've yet to really get into the comics where I can see how it's going to be awesome. Like I haven't gotten there to read this stuff that I have this faith that it's going to be okay, because personally I don't like the idea of a crossover. You know what I mean? I would prefer to, as I hear a lot of people, don't have my food touching here. I want it to stay separate, right? And it's hard for me. I have to see a really good story. They're going to have to really put the hook in me quick for me to look past the idea that, oh, GI Joe and Transformers, so the robots kill everybody in about 45 minutes and then it's over. Like that's why it's hard for me to get past. But I gotta have a little faith. How do you feel about it, brother?
Well, I'm very food can't be touching. So, um, but that being said, I think the problem happens. It happens a lot in everything, in my opinion, and that
Mm,
is that you have a fan base already built, and then something comes along that changes the core of whatever it is, and because it's still attached to like the core, that fan base is like, ew, no. But
mm,
what it does is it creates a whole nother fan base. And
mm,
I think a Skybound slash Hasbro, whoever is pulling some of the strings, is doing it correctly by leaving the old line open, but then introducing this new line where everything's separate, everything's different, so not to muddy up the original base. I always compare it to this, um, and you may remember it. I don't know. Probably not, maybe, because I think I brought it up once before. But so you had the Misfits, which was Glenn Danzig and all them
mm,
guys,
mm.
and then they broke up, and then they reformed without Glenn Danzig, and it was
Right,
still the
right.
Misfits. The thing was, if you didn't call it the Misfits, the music wasn't that bad. But if you were a hardcore Misfit fan, you just didn't like it.
Right, right.
But if it
Dude,
was
the
something else,
the singer's
then
the
it would
hardest
have been all
person to
right.
replace. The singer is the hardest person in a band to replace.
Yeah,
It's almost impossible unless you're Journey and and the singer gets such a bad reputation that everybody thinks he's such a cocksucker that as soon as they find somebody that sounds just like him, they completely forget about the other guy and totally
yeah.
embrace their own guy. You know,
But
you do get lucky in that way. Listen, I like a lot of heavy metal music. The majority of the bands that I like, you can't just call it the same thing, because
right,
creating like a metal voice like that is almost damn near impossible. I'm actually trying to think in my head. Well, okay, so I guess there's varying degrees that works. And there was this one band that was, the band was really good, but the singer sucked. He quit, and then they got Paul from Dissolve, and it became really good. So I guess in those instances, but
right,
you
yeah,
get, yeah, obviously, but for the most part, if you've got a successful band, it's hard to replicate. Even a guitarist, I would say that there's a if you're Slash, you can't replace Slash, right? It's the hat, it's the whole thing. It's
right.
so yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah.
but I think that's what I was getting at though is like because I'm reading the Energon universe too, and it it's fine. It's not my GI Joe, but it is its own separate thing, and that's what makes it okay. I mean, of
Right,
course,
right.
the characters are written differently. It's just like if you were reading Hammer's Run, like Conrad would say, and then you go to Skybound or not Skybound, but Devil's Due, they changed they pretty much changed everything in my opinion,
Right,
and
right,
so it just didn't feel right. It wasn't GI Joe to me anymore,
right,
and
right, right,
and then when Hammer came back, it's like, hey, this is good again. I can pick this back up, and I think that's the same thing with the Energon Universe Transformer thing. Is it good? I mean, it's good for what it is. Do
right.
I want it? Do I want it in my Hama run of GI Joe? No.
No, no.
I
Right,
didn't want it. I didn't want it back when they were doing it when it was Marvel was doing like the 4-issue limited series and stuff, and it would mix its way into. There was a little Transformer stuff in Hammond's runs, but he kind of got rid of it really quick,
right,
in my
right.
opinion.
Okay.
But
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, am I looking forward to it? Nah, I mean, no. I mean, I would honestly though. I would. They made the Baroness and the Hiss. They made the Thunder Machine and Zartan, and they made the Triple T tank, and
Right, right.
and they made the All Striker. I do want to see an Optimus Prime like military truck that transforms with
Okay,
like
okay.
General Hawk or something.
Sounds right.
That Yeah, that would be good. I haven't bought any of them yet. I wanted to get the Hiss with the Baroness, um, but I never did, and I might one day. It doesn't seem to climb up there in price like some of the other stuff does.
Does Hawk come with that, or does Duke come with that? With
With
Optimus
what?
Prime. With Optimus
Nobody comes
Prime.
with it. I'm saying I would like to
Oh,
see it.
oh, oh, nice.
Yeah,
So gotcha. No, but I'm saying,
yeah.
who do you think would come with it? Would it be Hawk or would it be Duke?
I would say Hawk. I mean, because
Yeah,
Optimus
I agree.
Prime's the leader of the
Yeah,
Autobots.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That's true.
the All Striker came with Stalker. His tank come with Baroness, and the Thunder Machine came with Zartan. Um, and did it come with Zorana? It came with two. The Thunder Machine came with two figs, and those are the three and a
Oh,
quarter
oh
inch
yeah.
figs.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and
Uh,
the Thunder Machine turned into Soundwave, the All Striker turned into a Bumblebee,
mm,
and the Hiss Tank turned into Megatron.
which is
And I
awesome.
cannot remember what the Triple T Tank turns into. Probably because I don't care.
What? Oh, God, I can't remember either because I saw it at my
At
Walmart.
Walmart,
Yeah, a bunch of times when I went in and out of there, which I'm still so sour that I'm so. I have the Walmart that's around basically
it's
right.
Cup,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah, dude, bro, I just missed it. If you haven't heard me say it on a podcast yet, so I went 8 days in a row because everybody that I talked to was like the Walmart, the price massacre was happening. They were chopping these prices, and I went there 8 days in a row. The ninth day, I didn't go there. Went there on the 10th day, and everything was gone. I got two Night Force, Falcon Coral 2 packs, and I got one Spirit and Low Life. They were $30 a piece. That's To me, that's worth it. A $15 a figure with all those extras. I was like, you know what? And they're good, especially that Spirit and Low Light. I almost want to put different heads on those and see what happens.
Well, that dude was up the parking lot selling them out of his trunk, probably.
Yeah, yeah, dude. You cannot go wrong there. I saw Stevie. There was a booster guy that you can get lucky sometimes out in the parking lot. And I'm surprised they don't crack down on it more because they have this thing that the police wheel in and then they leave it out
Yeah,
there and it's got like a camera on it and like lights and everything. So I don't know. Um,
I think it's called the guard tower. I know what that's called because dude, that thing is an AI detecting nightmare. It it tracks you when you go in the store. So like if you're a repeat offender, it'll just go ahead and tell the cops that you're there.
wow, that's crazy. Well,
Yep,
I
that
mean,
thing you see at grocery stores now, that's what that is.
well,
Because the
it's not surprising.
company I work for was thinking about getting them.
Nice, nice. So I just saw where to go here? Rock Lockdown was like, I'm playing pre-order roulette and not rushing to them. If it's meant to be, it will be, unless someone scoops up 15 Night Vipers. So real quick, uh, I got 10 so far. The other five will be here on Monday. So this is legitimately kind of interesting. If you saw it, I actually made a post earlier in the week where I said, hey, I was a good boy. I actually remembered to cancel my pre-orders because what's been happening is it's like jumbling. And all of a sudden, like, oh, we're gonna get these Night Vipers in like 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden, Pop Cold Frenzy, my brother, pops up and he's like, "Yo, if you go get a couple right now, they're available now." So I buy the ones that are available now, and then usually I almost instantly canceled the ones on Amazon. That's the easy one. But somehow I had five from Pulse, five from Amazon. I ordered the immediate five from Amazon. I could have swore I canceled the other Amazon order. Just yesterday, I looked and was like, wait a minute. what's coming what's coming tomorrow? And I looked and it said 5 Night Vipers. And I was like, wait a minute, that's got to be wrong. That's got to be from the one that they just sent. And I went and I looked and I was like, no, that money's out of my bank account. And then I looked right above it and it said Hasbro with an amount. And I went, wait a minute. And I went over to Hasbro and there was, and they took the money. Now, obviously, I could bring 5 of these back for Amazon, which, when the other 5 show up safe and sound, I will make that decision. That is a lot. I love the Night Viper. It looks amazing, but it's pushing it in terms of, I mean, I kind of justified it in my head and I said, all right, I'll just won't get, and I'll slow down on some other stuff. I also, if you remember me saying, when I was doing that that crazy building where I was in and out of I was working in the freezing cold in this basement, running all those pipes. All I kept telling myself was, I'm going to fucking buy myself some shit. And that's going to make me happy about doing this. And so I bought myself some shit. And I'm probably going to wind up keeping all 15. Now, that being said, I'll take some pictures. I'll probably trade or give something away. 15 is a lot. But
well, I was just say, the funny thing about Night Vipers to me is they always feel like they're specialized. Like to me, when I was a kid, my Night Viper was like the Cobra Sniper, and
right.
so like having that many of them would just be kind of like, nobody really has a squad of snipers or something like that. So that's why like I ended up buying one, and I'm probably like I could maybe do 2 or 3, but it probably wouldn't do any more than that. But yeah, I mean, but at the same time, I could see them coming down a dark hallway, like 8 or 9 of them, like bunched up.
Yeah, for sure. No, they're an excellent troop builder. The thing, and
I
this
love
is
the helmet.
agreed.
That
It does
helmet
look
goes
great.
on really slick.
We're probably gonna, I mean, should we open one now? I was gonna do a review video, which I guess I can still do, but maybe I should open one now because it's tough. I'm not sure how much fun that is for people when I'm doing a live, because I'm like holding it for people to see. But this, I feel like, seeing as how we're so deep into it, I could maybe just take a look at a few things. Now, I saw on the timeline today, our boy Dave Lovelock, said something about it not being a great night fighting weapon, and I do generally agree. But it's the weapon itself. Oh man, whoa, this is pretty cool. So, a couple things that jump out right off the bat is that the black on his chest and down on the front of the boots and everything. See how they've got that gloss to it?
Shine, yeah.
That's nice, man. And the green itself is, in person, bro, it's a bit darker than when you see it in the colors. I don't know if that's translating through the screen, but it is doggy. I don't know what is on his leg here, but that looks dope. I'm really digging that.
I was trying to figure out what that was too. It looked like he's super allergic and he needs a bunch of needles.
Right. So, well, I can't think. Oh wow. The sidearm pew pew is nice. Kind of loosey, not loose. No, that's good. As long as it doesn't fall out when I turn it upside down. So let's see. What do we got? Okay, so the backpack is pretty dope. I mean, good amount of detail. I really want to. I've got some paints and some really fine detail brushes. I feel like just the tiniest bit of effort with something like that can go a long way on a back. Wow, that's a big backpack peg. Let's see what we got here. It's got to go around that strap. All right, so already right off the rip, I think that looks pretty awesome, right? I think that looks cool. Let's see. And you have this, right, Stevie? I thought you said you got one, right?
Yeah. I ended up picked it up at one of the Walmarts I was at in West Virginia when I was working.
So this is fire. This is absolute fire. Let me put it on my little finger.
The helmet is awesome.
That is amazing, dude. Holy hell. So when you lift it up, let's see what we get. And this is what we get here. So let me stick my finger in so you can see what that mask looks like. How dope is that? And then it comes straight down. Man, yeah, I'm definitely keeping all 15 of these.
But did you open, just a quick question, did you open your hit and run?
Not yet. I have not yet. Why? What's up?
Well, if anybody else has opened theirs, if they had one, I opened mine today,
Okay.
and he has a spot right here. It's just an open pocket, and when you look at the art on the box, he's got a mag for his rifle there, but he doesn't come with a mag for it unless you use the one that's in the rifle. So
Okay.
I didn't know if maybe mine was missing something, or or it's just they didn't do it.
Well, you know what, brother? We can open that too. Now y'all in the chat and be serious. Is it brutal when I do this? When I order up a figure, I'm largely messing with it off screen. Uh, where's this extra knife go on the Night Viper?
I could tell you, but you wouldn't like the answer.
Where does it go in his backpack?
There's one on his chest and one on his shin.
Oh, there is one on. Oh, it's directly on his shin. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So, you know, not on the side of the boot, but right on the front. Not gonna lie, kind of liking it because it's just different. But yo, I
makes
mean,
it
look,
easier for Snake Eyes to grab.
right? This is just ridiculous. This okay. I'm definitely keeping all 15. That's no question there. I now what I have to do is I have to build a city scene so I can put 15 of these things on night on the top of buildings. So the rifle that it comes with, I'm not gonna lie, it does look very cool. I almost wish that they did instead of this some kind of like a smaller optic system that looks like it ties into the monocle thing on his helmet. You know what I mean? To make it look like it's a point and pull kind of situation. Now, something else that I'm noticing too is this is the actual the sling is much more fluid. The what is it? The one that came with low light in the Mad Marauders 2 pack is insanely terrible. Now this one here not only is a bit more fluid. I can totally get it right up over his head and have it kind of sling down on the side like that, and I can give him a smaller
It's
siren.
removable.
It is too, right? That's what I thought it looked
Yep.
like it is. Okay. Oh, so is the ammo. I don't know what to say anything. I don't want to get the stream shut down. I've still been worried about that ever since the last time it happened, making me nuts. Uh, it is removable, but I think I like it because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them. Man, why does that not look like it's just doesn't look like it's going in far enough, right? They usually go in like super far. But anyway, I feel like I want to give this dude. I can have a couple of them, maybe in a because Matt from Mo's Mind says sniper needs a spotter. So yeah, so this dude will have a spotter that'll have his slung over the backpack, a smaller subcompact kind of something or other, and then maybe give him some kind of like a I don't know something like a tablet. So he's calculating. One of the tablets that you had given me would be perfect. Which we were talking about that backstage. Stevie, the change in the game with those tablets, man, they look incredible when they're being held. When Steeler is holding, man, that is making me crazy because that is only going in the tiniest bit, no matter no matter which way, and it doesn't feel right. Okay, so it's definitely hold on, it's definitely like that, but I feel like that's not that was like in more. All right, I'll mess with that later. So, y'all, I am definitely going to do an in-depth review where I'm going to talk about it more. Yeah, I have to start dropping those on YouTube. Got it. The only way I'm going to build this YouTube channel is, to actually put stuff on here besides my 4-hour rambling spots. But, dude, this right here is an elite figure. Now, one thing, if I remember correctly, way back when the render reveal even first came out, our brother Conrad had said something. He was referring to like the hips down by the legs. He said it looked like something was missing. And I don't know. I couldn't tell you what, but the legs seem maybe a little thin. But if he's a sneaky guy, he can't be too bulky. Yeah, man, this is Stevie. What did you think? What did you think? I mean, I'm about to go, 9 and 9.5 out of 10. I have like nary a complaint. Now I haven't tried to position his you know what here, and that is always the thing I ponder. So if I can get him to pose, get that one official pose in the right way, then he's definitely going to be a 9 to 9.5. But I have a feeling that this isn't going to sit right in his hand. What about you, Stevie? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I would like I was like somebody said in the chat too. I don't know about the shine. I wish it was like flat, but no, I like it. I like the original figure anyway.
Yeah, for
Back in
sure,
the
for sure.
day, it was towards the end of my collection run of GI Joe.
Okay.
But yeah, I was actually happy to get one when I saw him because I normally don't just buy figures either.
Right, right.
I usually got to think about it for a little bit.
Sure,
But
sure.
I immediately jumped on him. I actually like the fact that he's um, not thick. He's very sleek. He's
It,
very
it it makes
like
more sense. It makes
yeah,
more
like
sense.
I got to get in and get out um,
For
kind of
sure,
thing.
for sure.
So
You know what it's making me excited for, brother, when I look at the mask especially. What it's making me excited for is Valaverse is coming out with a Sam Fisher figure from Splinter Cell.
right.
I think that's gonna be pretty fire. Pop Cool Frenzy says now you got to buy 15 Drift Vipers to match it up. Don't get me
But
started.
you know what actually makes me a little upset about this figure? And it's not the figure itself. It's the things that like in dio building and art or whatever, or for you for construction, woodworking, whatever, you learn as you go. And as you go,
Mm,
you develop techniques and you learn new things. You either learn how to do it faster, better, whatever.
true.
But the thing about this figure that I wish Hasbro knew beforehand was this helmet and how it comes off his head.
Yep.
Because guess what they could have done for us? We
Tell
could
me.
have got a barbecue with a removable helmet,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, I mean, hell, maybe we'll get a retro carded barbecue, which I don't think we need, but there there is an opportunity to correct that, though. I'd have to
Yeah.
agree
Because
with it.
I really like the helmet. And this actually goes into something that we'll come bring up later, but um, like this helmet paves the way for Vipers that have removable helmets
Yes, yes,
because that's a little bit of a pet peeve for me. But I mean, I get it, but I would love to be able to not have to head swap a Viper if I want him not to have his helmet on.
absolutely. I'm already having an idea, and I'm gonna probably spoil it by saying it, but I have a feeling I'm gonna do a beachhead grabbing one of these guys and putting his head on here, and then like the scene where he sneaks in to back into the Cobra base as a Night Viper. I can already feel that coming. You do the shot with him taking the helmet off, and it's beachhead. Yeah. So yeah, I had a little trouble getting the his primary into his hand and to look right. So I'm just gonna everybody can watch. I'm gonna real quick. Yeah, like 5 people already left. So because I'm sitting here playing with this figure. But let me just try and get this because if not I feel like if I go to get a gridiron weapon in one of their hands and I go, oh, well, it doesn't quite fit right because it's a gridiron weapon. But when I get the weapon that came with the guy and I can't get it to go to get that one primary pose, it's like, well, what were you doing? What
Right.
happened in the meeting where we were like, okay, let's make sure that the specialized thing that he comes with, fits in his hand. Okay, so now when I put it on the other side, it's a little bit better. That's my special technique of warming it up and spreading it at the same time using my teeth and my 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 98-degree mouth. All right. So now, I mean, I feel like I'm getting somewhere. I can get it here without taking up too much time. I can get this to set It does not look as right as I want it to, but I feel like a little heat and a little more patience that I could get it where it is. Now, what I like, and I wonder how if it's the same for what I saw in Hit and Run, is this strap right here. It's really awesome. It's thick, but it fits. It's not oversized. It's just really sweet. Um, Snow Leopard says Frag, Night, and Heat Vipers were officers for the Cobra troops. I love it. Absolutely. Uh, Jay Antonio, well, Matt Black, that shiz. Why would a sniper have glossy armor? Well, that is one of those G.I. Joe things where you go, oh, it's G.I. Joe. It's silly. The figure is very slim looking compared to other figures. Yes, Big Red, I admit that that's the case. I feel like it as well. But just like Stevie said, it plays. It is a sneaking figure for sure. And yeah, 15 of these are going to look dope. So I got 10 now. The other 5 will be here on Monday. But listen, when's the last time I put a picture out? I can't even begin to explain to all y'all, how busy I've been. And there has been times in the last week that I probably could have came down here and spent like 2 hours, but my kids are sitting right there. And my kids are at an age right now where, they're 11. Their twins are 11, and in a couple of years, they're going to start to really become people that are out doing things all the time. I'm not going to have a lot of time to sit with them on the couch, watch Stranger Things, be goofy. Like I'm at the last of those days, and so when over say, especially like the last week, when I have that time, I say, I know I'm going to hang out with my kids. And if I have enough energy after they go to bed, then I'll go down, which I don't ever, because by the time they go to sleep, I'm shot. But that's the bottom line is I'm just like, dude, I have a bunch of stuff from Moe's Mine I want to take pictures of, a bunch of stuff from Sister Arsenal I want to take pictures of. And just like in this moment, because it's also, mind you, it's winter time. Of course they're sitting up there because nobody's going outside. It's frozen thunder. But yeah, just to give everybody an idea that, I've been working a lot, and when I come home, I have to spend time with my kid. But yeah, no, it's there's a lot of shit planned that's coming. Especially now that I know. Maybe I'll slide right into that in a sec. Let me go through the chat real quick. Yes, figure is very slim looking, Big Red. I think I kind of like it that way. Big Red, they are in stock at Pulse. I'm waiting for my fun money to come in to buy mine. Nice, there it is. Getting me 2. Mine only had the 1 as well. I just grabbed one of my extras. Yeah, go for it. Get them. Love to see Fig cracking out of its plastic cage. Okay, such a killer. Okay, good. So it's not that bad. Great. Maybe Gridiron Studios will come up with a retro gun for the Night Viper. That's possible, brother. I wouldn't put it past Gridiron to come up with anything at this point. Be careful showing the Pew Pew's age 78 stream was ended because he was playing around with a spring-loaded toy. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, I definitely should be a little bit more careful there. Big Red says it looks like a 10 out of 10 to me. Yeah, Big Red. If somebody, once I had a little trouble with the Pew Pew trying to get it to sit right, but maybe once I heat up that shoulder joint a little bit and I get it into place. Plus, I feel like if I put a subcompact on there up into his arms, that it's going to look just about right with this slung on his back, and that'll make me happy. Rock Lockdown says Crimson Guard with a Fred head, right? As probably when I was talking about the beachhead thing, you would need like 15 of those to pull off that shot. Which shot was I talking about? Just another jerk laughing. I did that on the OGs and broke thumbs, but never learned. Oh, right, with my technique. Rock Lockdown, Dusty's weapon that they are reusing is annoying like that. Yes, that is the FAMAS, right? Dusty's weapon. Everybody's got that. You know what it does look good on, though, is in the Tiger Force Dusty, they give you that, but it's got a green stock. As a matter of fact, I just so happen to have this sitting out because I actually kind of love this figure, and it looks amazing. I'm going to cover most of it, but it looks amazing with Lady J in her green. See how it's got the green on the whatchamacallit there? But yeah, I've been digging on this Lady J for some reason. It's not even that great of a figure. It just looks cool. You're about to get socked with snow. Oh yeah, this week in Hearthstone. So yeah, tomorrow into Monday, we're supposed to be getting a bunch of snow, and which I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm having a company come and do blown insulation up in my attic. I'm sorry, the second floor, and they're doing the vaulted ceilings and then the gable ends. And they said basically like, I'm going to be here to let everybody in, but they're like, when we're doing it, nobody should be in the house. And then like an hour after until everybody can come in. So it looks like the kids probably aren't going to have school. I'll probably have to bring them to my mom's, and that's that. But yeah, we weren't even supposed to get any snow. I had to snow blow my driveway twice. That last night and then again this morning. Craziness. Bu- 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 bu. Your time with your family is more important. Well, that's what it is, Big Red. I don't want to look back and be like, I wish I spent more times with my kids. Like right now, this is different. Like they're in bed. This is I do a podcast. It's different. They're largely in bed. But yeah, these went to come down here, open figs. Now, what I have been trying to do is get them to come down here with me so we can open these figures. And then so basically I just finally yesterday had this idea where I was like, well, how about we do this? How about I will order something that you want. And then when the stuff comes in, we all go downstairs and we can all hang out. And I mean, which is really just like, I'm bribing them at this point. But so what I did is actually right there on the finished portion of this floor, I have there's two big tables that they have all their like arts and crafts stuff that they can come down here and do. My wife just got a new Cricut, so she's going to set her stuff up over on the other side. And yeah, so I mean that's I don't know how to use that thing. I know which Cricut do you got, Stevie?
I just got the Maker 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's the now retired one, but it does what I need it to do.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, no, that's it. That's all. Let's see here. Yeah, that I really got to get my printer back up and running. So, I really just got to change the print screen. And that's why I wasn't in a hurry to do it, because I still haven't got my laptop taken care of, which, man, I know. How long have I been talking about that, bro? 5 months? Like 4 months? 5 months?
It might make streaming easier.
Well, listen, no, I have to do it. I can't be having people on to promote stuff and not be able to show pictures of like their website or show pictures of their stuff. I have to get it fixed. I can't take that next step until I get that squared away for sure. Yeah, I already mentioned that I'm so busy that I actually missed the pre-orders, and I did not get a Ninja Force Zartan, which my brother Jeremy, when I reached out to him and was like, dude, is there anything I can do? And he was like, be patient. He brought up a good point. He said that Steeler and Short Fuse sold out like that, and then it popped back up again, and it sold out like that again. But look at now, they had so many of them that they went on clearance. They were $26.99, which I wish I had got. I would have bought another set at that price. There's a lot of cool shit in there. That backpack with the mortar thing that Short Fuse comes with is pretty cool, and you can get. Hold on. And the reason that I like having the extra one is because hold on. Oh, tell me I don't have it right here. I probably don't with my luck. Son of a bee. Where the hell is it? I'm looking, so you don't think I'm a crazy person. I'm looking for my Sys 3D Arsenal case that has. This is the blue one that's got the old style group. You know what? Explosives. Man, it's got to be right here somewhere. Well, anywho, they make a wonderful one that has the mortar in it. The mortar's in it, and it comes in that wonderful blue case. Man, I feel like a jackass. Where the hell is it? I wanted that one out here specifically to talk about it. So anyway, I wanted to mention that and show those off because there is new Sys 3D Arsenal dropping. I saw a couple pictures right before we came on. Holy shit. So real quick, I got an order in right now. I'm trying to think, what did I get? I got the Mechanics top, which is, if you know my set, man, I must have a bunch of these in another box somewhere. The Mechanics set, it comes in, you can get the bottom portion that has the wheels on it, and then there's the top portion that has two drawers and a flip top. Well, I got the Joe top, the Joe color top, to go with my clutch and my awe striker, right? So I have those two vehicles that are going to be next to each other. Those two figures are there. They have a couple little wrenches or whatever, but I have some other stuff. They're going to be out there working on their shit, and that's what's going down with that. But listen to me, y'all. The last thing that I received, my last care package that came from my brother, had some really cool shit in it. Now, these right here, this in itself is completely awesome, right? I absolutely love this. It just looks cool as it is, but there is, oh man, I hate it when I struggle because it makes it look like the stuff is hard and it's not. So what you get too are 3 of these wonderful anti-tank rounds, which are just awesome looking. And the color is accurate to official military style stuff. So this right here, I kind of wanted to find a way to load this into the hiss in the back somehow with the tactician. I think there's a way that I'm going to get some pics of this being on the inside, and I think it's going to look awesome. I'm excited for that. Now, just so we can look, now these are also accurate to official military colors. So what I like about this in particular is, look, I can shake that and nothing. Oh, hold on, the back one wasn't locked in. I can shake it and move it around. Shake it, move it around, and the shit doesn't fall out. So and that's cool for posing purposes. But yeah, look at that nice green, that nice kind of almost stainless steel look, which is crazy cool. And what also makes it awesome is that you can display it laying down like this on a table or standing up like that. I think it's awesome. And then the other thing that I got is, everybody knows these chemical barrels. How awesome is this? So like if you were to buy 55 gallons of chlorine, it would come in one of those super heavy duty ones like this that have your nice 2 white tops. I mean, really, really awesome. So that was the last thing that I got. So what's on its way now is I'm getting the Joe Mechanic top. There's actually a cart that he makes where I can put something like this on it, and I have a couple civilians. It's going to be like a civilian pushing this through like a factory. Can't wait for that. But I wrote down, Cobra Legacy crates. So I actually have some of the Legacy crates that I'll show real quick. I absolutely love these. They look like they are, it's like a real wood crate feel, but it's still got all the awesomeness of like of the original style crates with the handles that collapse flush, so you can like stack them neat together. All the different kind of insert cases, they all work with this. It's with the stuff, the sleeves that come on the inside, so you can swap the stuff out between the older style and the new style. So I have a all black Cobra one coming of this. I've got, and then these just dropped like earlier in the week or last week. There are M67 grenades. So the ones that I just showed that come in, I have the Joe, the Cobra, and the Hiss. So this is what they look like, the original style. And this is actually, if I remember my discussion with Chris, that he even said that this was an accurate design, right? Which I can't probably see it that great because I can't get it, but there's nice little perforations all the way around. And he's got the pull pin, the top, a lot of detail there. But now he's got actual M67s. So pretty awesome. I ordered, if I remember correctly, it's Cobra Blue with the red symbol and the red grenade, and then this black with this red, and then I think might even be the black grenade in there, or vice versa. It's one or the other. But I don't know if you've seen those. Make sure you go over to sys3darsenal.com to check that out, because they're complete. Everything he has there is awesome. This new shit that he's dropping is off the hook. Make sure you're using promo code Destro Designs. That'll get you 10% off. Also, so what I just saw right before we came on is, I've been mentioning it. It is a Major Blood mission crate. And it fits his helmet. It fits his 6-shooter. He's got the backpack that goes in there. It is all perfect. I am so stoked for this. And now I'm officially saying it. This was the last thing I was waiting for to finally do my Major Blood shoot, right? With the 788 team. I kept having one reason or the other. I kept putting it off. And then the last thing, I was going to do it a few weeks ago, and then Chris brought up that Major Blood mission crate, and I was like, oh yeah. I definitely have to. I definitely have to get that figured out. So I know how I'm going to do it now. I'm going to set up over there on the other side. I already actually uh, told my kids that, hey, I'm gonna have a little something set up over there for a couple of days. You're just gonna have to stay away from it, please, 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 because it goes in front of the computer. And anyways, um, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait for that to come in because it's so. I've been thinking about it for a while now. I'm just happy that I can finally get there. So do not forget to go over. That's sys3darsenal.com. You can also still find his stuff on Etsy. So say if you've got the premium Etsy, which I believe I do, you can get free shipping from that. So you may just want to wind up, you could very easily just say, hey, I'm going to go order it through the Etsy because I get the free shipping. So, but make sure either place, no matter what, use that Destro Designs and for a promo code, get you 10% off some already amazing low prices. So that's exciting. Oh, also, I will get into some other stuff for Matt from Mo's Mind today too. But if you remember correctly, we've been talking about it. I'm just going to throw it out there now for anybody that's here. If you remember, there was an issue. Matt was trying to up my promo code to give 10%. Unfortunately, he can't seem to change it on Etsy. So when you go over to Mo's Mind and you want to get that 10% off, you got to use Destro Designs 10. That's the new promo code. So no biggie. Just throwing it out there. But when I get into some of that stuff, I will get into that again. So just kind of wrapping it back around, Steve, because I always like to get these answers from people. I want to know, when you were young, who was your favorite 3 3/4 figures, especially since, being the figures were heavy on the lore of what made you a G.I. Joe fan? Talk to me, brother.
My favorite figure. Well, my thing is because I usually use my own money to buy everything.
Right.
Even as a kid, I would always go for the figures that had the most stuff. Like the snow serpent, the cobra eel. Just because they had all the a lot of accessories and stuff. But Snake Eyes, probably.
Version 2?
What was that?
Which version?
Well, to me, it doesn't matter because they're just all Snake Eyes.
Right.
So
Okay. No, that's
it's the
fine.
same
That's fine.
dude. It's the same dude, just different suit. I was not a fan of what I refer to as the demon Snake Eyes, which is the one that he had like the molded mask with just the two eyes that were like silvery. It was when he got his face reburned. He had the two trench knuckle knives right there on his chest.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of that one per se or the Ninja Force one. But the first three were pretty good. This one is a Dollar General figure. Um, but and I haven't got the classified version of this one yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I never had this one as the 3 and whatever quarter one either. But he's okay looking. Yeah, he's too BMXy for me. But dropped his battle stand.
I can't believe that's a dollar store figure. I forgot they had that.
Dollar General.
Oh, Dollar General. Okay.
Yeah, this was probably 10 years old now. Let's see if it's got a date on it. 2007 is when I bought it.
Okay.
They only had him, and they had Storm Shadow, and they had Cobra Commander with this humongo freaking sword. But yeah, these were in between my classified and my original Joe phase. I bought these 3 figs for my computer a long time ago. but yeah, I would say Snake Eyes, um, the Baroness. It took me a while to get her. She was through a cousin trade. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I would say, those were my faves. It wasn't really the lore either, though. It was just I don't know, maybe it was just the black.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
Those those were dark times.
definitely. Well, and dude, and ninjas were in then.
Yeah,
You
they
know what I
were.
mean?
Yeah, you had Michael Dordoff running around as American Ninja and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, I liked Hit and Run too. Um, and I liked,
Definitely.
I mean, I had an Alley Viper. Target was kind of cool. The Iron Grenadiers I actually really liked. Um, trying to think, there was one other one, Zartan. I really liked Zartan, but it wasn't so much the lore. Actually, I was watching GI Joe today while I was painting, and I got thinking about it. It was kind of funny how like the comics, they had their own character and everything. In the cartoon, they had their own character. So you had the Duke Scarlet in the cartoon, and it was Scarlet Snake Eyes in the comic. But the funny thing that crossed over was the fact that Snake Eyes doesn't talk.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, and in the cartoon, the main what I'm talking about, they never explained why or any of that.
Mm,
Um, and I thought it was kind of funny and weird that it kind of did that. And then, because you've talked about Resolute before, that was the other thing too, is Resolute. I want to know what happened between Scarlet and Snake Eyes in that. What's the backstory there?
I know
Because
that is a
they
little crazy.
they made it to where they were a thing because Duke was like, go with him if you want, and it was just kind of funny because then that made me feel like, well, what, has she still got something going on? Or, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird.
Hmm.
But
Nice. I love it. I love it. Those are all basically good choices. I think Zartan to me was always he was polarizing. Like he to me he was kind of scary. Everything about yeah, I loved it. I love Zartan. I thought he was great. But yeah, there was something about Zartan. He's as much as he's always talked about, I feel like he's because he was always involved in the Cobra plot in some way. Same thing with like Mindbender, really kind of
uh,
off technically off to the side, but he was always right in the middle of everything. Most of the
yeah,
time it was his fucking ideas. So
yeah.
shit like that for sure, for sure. Well, what and how does that translate to classified, say? Are any of those, tops of your list in classified? Who floats your boat in classified?
I would say, it's funny because as we grow older and mature, like as a kid, literally, it's funny, because I've told you before, and I don't care. I was diagnosed with autism when I was like 45. So as a kid, there were like, if people were more educated back then, because this is the early 80s. As a kid, I had all these signs. Like I literally would like take all my Joes and Cobras, all my figures, and I would line them up on the floor and assign them all weapons, and then carefully put them in a box, go to my room, set everything up for battle. And then when playtime was over, I don't know why I'm calling it playtime. I was like freaking 14. But anyway, when it was over, I would collect them all again, take them back downstairs, line them up on the floor, re-weaponize them to do it all over again. Very weird autistic thing, lining up all your toys and everything. But
Mm.
as I've gotten older, I don't do that anymore. But anyway,
Well,
as I've gotten older, the play has changed. Like for example, I
right,
even
right.
realized this when I was a kid. When I first started, like when I was younger, even though I wasn't that young when I started collecting and playing, um, a lot of it was in my head. Like I wasn't actually like, you know, dialogue speaking it. It was like silent play. Maybe every you know, but everything was like in my head. as I've gotten older, I still don't play. I don't have it in my head. I have scenes in my head that I put in the diorama, which in a way I guess is a form of play. But my theme of what I'm doing has matured, as in,
Mm,
like, because you asked how I translated over. Well, I do a lot more with Destro and the Baroness now because it's like a romantic thing. It's a love thing. It's a you know a relationship thing.
okay.
Same thing with the Snake and Scarlet, or even Zartan and his Dreadnoks. It's a different kind of relationship,
Mm,
but my play is centered around what can I do with these characters that is believable and works really well in setting up a scene. And I'm not going to say has emotion behind it, but can have a little bit of a, like, like you said, you saw the beachhead one and you were like, wow, that hit you. And it wasn't, it hit you and it was some kind of emotion. It wasn't, like love or whatever, but it hit you, it affected you. And that's when I set my figs up. That's what I want to do. I want to affect, I want to make an emotion happen. Whether it's Cobra Commander standing on huge pumpkins saying, haha,
right.
let's do this, and Destro being like, you fucking buffoon, or it's Destro and the Baroness sneaking around and Zorana looking in and being like, what, or Zartan telling Buzzer he's an idiot. It's those
Right.
kinds of
Right.
things, or Road Pig like bringing in the Dreadnought grape soda machine to the twins. It's
Hell
all
yeah.
about like, what are these guys gonna do on their day off? What are they doing when they're not fighting everybody? And the weirdest thing is, in one of your first casts, people we were talking about like, what would a new GI Joe movie, a new GI Joe show, or whatever be? And God, I hate to admit this, and I hate to say it, but so my wife's been rewatching Vampire Diaries.
Mm,
And you know, that's my way of spending time with her is I'll take my stuff downstairs to paint. So that I'm in the room with her, I'm watching TV, she can talk to me, I'm available, I can talk to her if something comes up. So it's a little bit of a weird connection or whatever. But I'm catching bits of this and I'm like, oh my God. If you add a little bit of fighting into this, like a little war, and you change all the names of these characters and get rid of the vampire crap and the werewolf crap, and you make this about, Cobra Commander, Destro, the Baroness, and Snake Eyes, Duke, Scarlet, and two, three other people. God, this would be a G.I. Joe drama show.
right.
And
Right.
people
Right.
would probably freaking watch it. I
Uh,
hate to say that.
I listen. I feel like we're starved for content in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I see something like Resolute, right, which I largely have no problems with, I kind of dislike it when they change characters. Like these are like what
Yeah.
was it? Dial Tone, I think was, and I don't care
It
that
was a
it's just.
chick.
I wouldn't like it if it was a dude. It's not about it being a chick. It's I want the fucking guy. You know what I mean?
You want that guy who talks like this?
Right, yes, I do with the beret and the little mustache.
Yeah.
That's the guy I want. But obviously there's when you're doing different variations of something, you're gonna have like some tweaking, no question. But that to me, I just and again, it wasn't a deal breaker. But if I'm just to make the point that like we know we can get something that we like that's fucking good. Like I'll accept that. Although wait,
Mhm.
they killed Major Blood right off the bat. I wasn't a fan of that. Like
Eh.
that's a
They
character.
killed
I mean,
Bazooka too. I mean,
it's true.
and
It's true.
that to me, I mean, there's a lot of Joes you could have killed, and
Right.
to
Right.
kill Bazooka, first off, didn't sit well with me because in the cartoon they made him to be kind of not dumb, but he just was kind
No,
of slow. And then to
Neanderthal.
kill him in that, it just made it think, well, were you thinking he was slow? And that
Yeah.
just kind of. And what about Alpine? I mean, God, man.
Right. Right. Right.
I mean, that was a
Come on,
very good
Bazoo.
duo. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It was a good, duh,
Uh, uh, uh,
lasers don't work.
help me, Alpine.
Yeah, yeah, that's my favorite one. Help, help.
Oh man, but it's one of those things. Like I never had a bazooka. Shit, I don't even own. a classified bazooka. I don't have the
I know
original.
you
I
don't
don't
want
have
the
the cellular.
Tiger Force one. I know.
No, it's
Tiger Force one is the only 3 3/4 one I had. I didn't
okay.
have the original one either.
Okay.
Um, and honestly, you know, it's funny because it takes you back to when I was a kid. Like I will buy a Tiger Force classified if it's the only way I can get that figure and get that or get that character and get that character affordable if I want that character. Um,
Mm,
you know, and that's where I was when I was a kid. Man, when Tiger Force hit Target when I was a kid, and Night Force and Python Patrol, all of a sudden there was all this old stuff that I could get that I couldn't get because I
right.
got in
Right.
like 2 years into it. So now I can get a Rattler. Now I can get, you know, a Ferret. Now I can get, you know, these figures. And that was like a dream come true. The sad thing is I hated the look of it, but I had it. You know,
Mm,
it's like get
right.
rid of Tiger Force, make everything Night Force, and we're good because it makes sense then. Everything's black, and yeah, that's militaristic or whatever. But you know, I've been eye buying the Tiger Paw because that's the only way I'm going to get any kind of classified ferret
Right.
because
Right.
I can't bring myself to spend that kind of money on the real deal.
I
And I mean, if I like won the lottery or if somebody gifted me some of this stuff, then that's different.
right.
Or gifted me money to where there's nothing I need to buy, then I could see spending it. But it is so hard to you know buy some of the stuff that I missed out on early in the classified run even you know even I mean I passed up on the snowcat even though that was the first one I was really thinking about backing and it's just the cost it's almost too much for me and
Mm, mm.
you know I did what the I did what did I just buy? What was just in Hasbro Pulse?
Like a figure
Oh,
or
the
yeah.
hiss. I
Oh,
did
yeah,
I
yeah.
did I did buy a snow hiss. I
Yes.
don't want
Yes.
to, but I
But
want a hiss.
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Also, like with a lot of stuff, I think there is like something to be said for, you really got to think, do I want this? Not in a sense of not getting it, but in a sense that do you want to have to pay double the price in a
Yeah.
year, like after it
Oh
comes
yeah,
out?
that
Yeah,
too.
for
No,
sure, for
I
sure.
agree with you there too. I mean, I passed. Well, I didn't pass. Like, there's just figs that I'd even go for. Like, I don't mess with Hasbro Pulse really at all.
Right, right,
Just because I don't know. It's just why? I mean, I hate paywalls, I hate subscriptions, I hate all those things,
mm,
and I hate when there's like an exclusivity to things, and I get why it exists, but at the same time, and I had this when I dealt with HeroClix with WizKids, you know, the chases and all that stuff. It was insane to try to get some of these figs, and even the uniques that come in the boosters, and it
right,
was just like
right,
it was like godsend when I started working for him because then I just got the stuff for free and it was awesome. And and but I hated it. It was like why who I can't go to San Diego. I can't get that fig, you know?
right,
And
right,
and
right,
and and I hate that. I hate that. I hate that the fig's not reissued later where they change the paint scheme or whatever. And that's why, like I said, I like Tiger Force and stuff. But at the same time, now you're going way above and beyond changing the paint scheme.
right,
You're
right,
making
right,
something totally unrealistic for military use,
right, for
you
sure.
know. And you know, I mean, the camo on the characters not so bad, but the vehicles, come on, man, just come on, man.
Nice.
Everybody's riding that shit like they're Chester Cheetah.
Right, for sure, for sure. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wasn't a huge fan necessarily myself either. I did like the whatchamacallit. I did like Night Force. I didn't get one back then, but one day I'd like to have a carded Lightfoot Shockwave to
Uh,
Night Force 2 pack, but that's like $1,500.
Yeah.
Our carded king is in the house. Kalel 327. Welcome in, my brother. Just another jerk. My dad figured it out when I started to smell the plastic. That's funny. Also, I thought I saw. Let me scroll back here. Yes, the bearded sumo in the house. Jay Antonio, what's up, my brother? Glad you can make it in. So let me ask you. My falcon melted on a lamp. My dad didn't know he was there when he turned it on. Oh no shit. Oh, that's what's going on. Okay, I'm with you now. Damn. So let me ask you, you fellas just jumping in. Bearded Sumo, Kalel 327. I opened up the Night Viper, and whoo, let me tell you, we are over here damn near here handing out damn near perfect grades. What Bearded Sumo, Kalel, what do you guys think? Metal Twister in the house, Metal Twister 361. Dude, member of the community. I've seen him over there for a couple weeks now, or maybe 2 months now, or something along those lines. So, welcome in, Metal Twister. Glad you could make it. If you've got the Night Viper, let's throw out them numbers. I originally started with, I said, a 9 to 9.5. I couldn't get his primary to sit in his hand with the actual pose as well as I wanted it to, so I'm kind of reserving judgment. Yeah, because I want to give it a 10, but if you can't hold the primary that you came with, it's just crazy town. But this is just, sorry, I'm looking at it, not even showing you guys. It's just perfect. Like Stevie said, this helmet and it is a real. Let me get it off for you real quick. So it takes a little second to get off, but when you get it off, to me, it's worth this little bit of effort. I feel like I'm breaking it so often with things when I try there. So first of all, when you take that off, he looks freaking awesome. Oh, it's so good. I understand when people talk about that maybe the shine isn't for them, but I have a feeling when I put them in a like a dark lit thing, and that kind of stands out a little bit and helps accent them for just photography purposes. Coel 327 says, I opened one of mine. The Night Viper is like a 7.5 only because he did not come with his rifle for the. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. With his rifle like the OG. Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of articulation on here, you know. Before I forget to mention it, now that Jay Antonio is here, commission with confidence from my brother. I know probably most of the people that are in here already know all about it, but if you didn't know, he's my brother Jay Antonio at the Bearded Sumo is an amazing artist, and he is now taking your orders. You know, Britt would take your crazy ideas, all these things you think about, and get it brought to life by a magnificent artist, relatively famous. He's done a lot of work for some wrestlers and some people in the big time. So don't fuck around, get over there and get something from my boy. So I got him in the hands on the hip. Cal, he's looking at you in that rating. He's got his hands on his hip.
He's judging you.
He's judging that rating, Cal. No, I get it for sure. That is a far cry. And as Daryl Loverocket pointed out, it is a poor night fighting weapon, and I do have to agree. But it does look cool, and I can do this with it. This is what I'm doing. I'm slinging around the back to just so you can see that it's there. I'm going to find a way to make it sit just right, and then he's getting a silenced subcompact to move around with until he gets his ass in position. Because I mean, it's like, what is he? It's a good figure if the original figure would be a 9. It's a good figure if he was the original figure. It would be a 9. No, I'm with you like that. Night Viper's projection with so many textures, superposable. I have 4. I need more. Yes, I agree. If you hadn't seen Jay Antonio, I had actually forgot to cancel one of my orders, so I have 10 and 5 more coming. That'd be 15. And as soon as I took this out of the box, I was like, oh, I'm keeping all of those for sure. I was thinking about, I could take the 5 that come on Monday and return them, but I think this is where it's at. So yeah, okay. I don't know. His secondary I kind of like too. But yeah, yeah, Cal, I'm not fucking around. I'm keeping all those.
What was the thing again about the knife?
Oh, I couldn't find the shin, the one on his shin.
Right, but what about the knife fight thing? Didn't you say something about It was a sucking knife or something like that.
For the Night Viper?
Yeah, for a knife fight. I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe I misheard.
oh yeah, my bad. No, yeah, I'm not sure. I
It's all
must have,
good. It's all
yeah.
good.
No, I know, I wish that I wish they gave, some of dudes like this, especially like, that's kind of close, but they give them like Sykes Fairbairn, which is like a famous World War II fighting knife. Pretty awesome. It's a double edged dagger, renowned so for good fun. So I wish they had given those more. But I do like how he's got one here. I like one that he's got one on his shin, which is, like you said, easier for snake eyes to grab when he's reaching up from underneath. It's a very odd place. Does anybody know of any reason? Is there something out there that somebody could Google it? Why we
I
have
would, I
posing?
would, I would actually think just from just thinking that you're in a kneeling position and you need a knife. That's the easiest place to grab one.
Well, but wouldn't
You
the
know,
side
like
be
if you're kneeling and you're looking down the sights and some dude's sneaking up behind you, it's just easier to come down and grab it right there
right?
because
Right.
your leg's already there than to go to the side to grab it or up here. Just a thought. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, no, no.
yeah.
I'm actually. I mean,
Or it's just aesthetics, it just looks fucking cool.
I think I agree. I do say I do have to agree that I do think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's
Momine
very
said quick draw from shooting position.
quick show. Okay, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
mean,
that
but
works.
he's probably just guessing too, like me. But
Right. No, no, no. But that works for me. That works for me, boys. It's close enough. Yeah, it's one of those things. I wish that we could get this attached to the backpack. I really always feel like we're getting shortchanged when that doesn't happen. I mean, maybe there's a way to kind of get it somewhere. Yeah, because see, like it fits. It would fit perfect right there, like that. So, but yeah, I don't know. Man, I really want to give it a 9.5 because it looks so awesome. Does feel like we've got quite a bit of articulation. I like the ankles, the feet. I did try to get it in the walking pose, and I got it like pretty quickly by like a lot faster. And so some of the early figures are not that easy to pose all that well. I struggled with some of it like greatly, and just like was very turned off by it. But thankfully, I started to notice that the later figures had much better articulation. Like even the Techno Viper for kind of a bigger, bulkier one of those. It poses pretty well. Man, I love that figure too. Um, I don't know what happened the other. I just today I had a retro Viper show up from Amazon, and I looked. I don't have an order for it. Like I went into my little order thing, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know if somebody bought it all. I don't think I have it in like a wish list, but it showed up at my house. I opened it, I set it down, and then I was over here kind of picking up on the side. And I went, wait a minute, what the fuck did I order that for? Because I have two of them that I have they stand with each other, and then I have one carded, and that's all I really wanted. I like we talked about it where I like this one better, the one that Big Red gave me, and yeah, yeah. Why am I trying to grab an imaginary knife from my front shin? Yeah, I mean, uh, guy could just be a slow learner. It took him years to stop strapping his rifle. Right, right. Well, if you remember, his rifle did attach to his leg, right? Didn't the OG one, like it went right on his leg like this or something like that? I thought that it attached straight to his leg, which, man, and I remember when I got that Night Viper, or no, I'm sorry. I knew it existed. Like I remember seeing it on the back, the card art on the back. And then I don't know if anybody's ever heard me. I had this friend when I was young, Brian Pertel. He had the most amazing GI Joe collection, but we couldn't touch them. We didn't play with them. We just stared at them. I'm not kidding. He had a tiered shelf and he had all the figures. He was the only kid I knew back then. He had multiple snow serpents, multiple eels, and they were all awesome. But he had this, and I remember seeing it and being like, man, I really want that. And then I never saw it in the store. Like all the times that we would go. So like Bradley, Caldors, Kmart, these were all like Walmart-esque stores from my area back when I was younger. And I can remember going in there and just like always going right to the toy aisle, like, where's the Joes? Where's the Joes? I think Stevie, I think we talked about this in the timeline. CVS used to carry Joes. Like
Yeah.
so there was a CVS right by my house. Ooh, the
Benjamin
first time,
Franklin's.
Yeah, the first time I saw Tiger Force was actually there. They had Tiger Force figures, they had Python Patrol, and then later on down the line, I saw some. They had like a couple Night Force ones. But dude, I loved Python Patrol when I was a kid. I thought Tiger Force was stupid, but I thought Python Patrol was awesome. Mm. I couldn't get enough of Python Patrol. In fact, now that if it wasn't oddly enough, I don't remember ever being able to get the figures. Like I don't remember seeing the figures, but I definitely had. I saw the Python Patrol stunned. I seen that in like a bunch of places, like other shit like that. Call sign Smash in the house. What's up, my brother? I think I saw you earlier when I was scrolling through and I forgot to say what's up. Kalal says. Cal, why did I say it like that? Cal says, yeah, but it was a small carbine, and that is one of the best parts. Rock and Roll version 2 had the same for his lever action. Yeah, for sure. I agree, brother. Yeah, that is that. I just kind of remembered that, or I saw actually may have seen somebody in the timeline that had done it. So
When we were talking about that thing on his thighs,
yeah,
I wonder if there's supposed to be replacement barrels for his
well,
gun.
so if everybody knows that a silencer wears out per shot. So if you're out there, if you need to be perfectly silent or suppressed, and excuse me, coffee's killing me, and you're taking a lot of different shots, then I guess maybe I could see how that would make sense. To be honest with you, it was the first thing that I thought of, because when I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like the end of his thing though. It's really
No, it doesn't. But that could just be a artist error.
Right. Well,
one guy doesn't know what the other guy's doing.
yeah, the only thing that it seemed like they got right. Gonna have to hop off and catch up on the replay. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Hey, call sign Smash. Thanks for coming through, brother. Enjoy the rest of that weekend, man. Thank you very much for your support. They did get the flashlight looking thing, which was on the original weapon. Yeah, I don't know. I do wish that they had something more like the original, but I don't hate this. It's just it doesn't fit in his arms. I can't freaking believe it. Yeah. So I mean, I'm still going to do a review video where I go through it a little more, and I have plenty of them to open. So, yeah. Something else that I opened this the other day. I was actually sitting here. I was on hold from a phone call, and I opened this guy, and he's awesome. So
Yeah.
I kept seeing pictures of him. Our boy Carnage Toy Photo, he came over from Instagram. He drops daily photos, like good stuff all the time. Now, first of all, Backpack stores all his stuff, so that's like almost an immediate, brings you all the way up to like an 8. Posability was damn good. Colors I think are damn good. I do like this camo pattern on here. I love the plates. I love this head. The alternate head is good. So they kept popping up. Pop Cold Frenzy with the link kept popping up at $19. So I've got 2 of them over there, and then this one. So I have 4 altogether. Probably going to maybe stop there, considering I just bought 15 Night Vipers. I don't think I need to be troop building all this other stuff. I think I can back off for a sec. But this is a really awesome figure. It actually has me stoked. It's got the ninja foot. Some would call the local EPMD concert girl look. EPMD, EMD, electronic EDM. What did I say? EPMD. That's a rap group from the 80s. A damn good one too. So I know my brother Jay Antonio knows about that EPMD. Eric and Parrish Making Dollars. Strictly Business, amazing album. One of my all-time favorite songs, The Headbanger. You know it. So anyway, Night Creeper has me stoked for some ninja stuff. So now, did you get Slice and Dice, brother?
No.
You did not. All right. So I haven't. That's right, Beard Suma. I know you know that. That's man. I've recently been going back and listening to a lot. Eric B and Rakim, dude, they've got bangers, bro. There's a lot of really good stuff that like I've always loved, but I've just been really appreciating a lot more lately. Rakim was a rhyme master, still is, but back then it was not even funny. So yeah, I have not opened mine yet. I almost considered trading it, but I took it out and I looked at it, just like slid it out of the package, and I went, oh no, I got to keep that. It's pretty awesome. The ninja stuff is fine. It's not necessarily for me. Like you had said, like a lot of my photos and all that, they're very military themed, right? It's a war zone in one way or the other. And I, I although that slice and dice is so amazing, I actually want to find a way. So when I look at this guy now, I don't have one in his hands because I didn't put one in and I don't want to show it. But again, I feel like this is one of those things where I'm going to put his thing on the backpack, right? And I'm going to give him. He's getting a subcompact, and I feel like a crew of these four rolling with slice and dice or storm shadow, even like I don't know, man. I think it's a dope little crew that you could send to do something. Man, I can't say it enough. I wish somebody would pay me to make a GI Joe movie with these classified toys because I have so many ideas. I think that would wind up playing out. Speaking of which, if anybody hasn't seen our brother Roblox, just putting basically what look like cutscenes from an elite video game. That's what he's doing with that AI right now. There are some varying opinions on the use of it, and the way that I look at it is number one, if you're enjoying doing it, by all means, fucking do it. Period. End of story. I think I touched on it last week, and it was like because we really didn't have anything like this happen before. It was a member of the community that has stepped back from the community because people are using AI, and I think that's a little far, right? We're not out here actively promoting Skynet. If we have somebody who is getting funky with it and they're coming up with, GI Joe R and like CG horror, he said it too. He's like, ain't nobody out here making money off of this shit. We're just posting stuff for us to look at on the internet, which I think is the general gist of it. So when I see Daryl or Roadblock, posting something like that, I like it. I tell them it's cool, and then we keep it moving. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why everybody gets so. If you're not interested, then just keep scrolling, I guess. But I just hate to think that somebody was that. Like I feel like having that much of an emotional reaction to it that you're gonna stop talking to all these people that were very accepting of all of the different ways that you are. But no, the person owes us nothing. It's not like that. But I'm just saying it. I don't know. I don't know why anybody dislikes it that much that they would just be like, yeah, fuck all you guys. It was a little strange. But I think if you're having fun, make sure you just do it, keep doing it. But like at this point, Roblox's been messing around for like maybe 2 months. But if you look at where he's gotten in that very short amount of time, it won't be long for the dude has 5 full minutes with dialogue. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the way I look at it. So yeah, everybody, Roblox AI work looks incredible. Ivan, yeah, okay, good. So yeah, I support whatever, anything's my. Let's be honest, Roblox is kind of, that would be some shit. Imagine that I'm John Connor, Sarah Connor is imminent, and it turns out that's so funny. All you guys are making dope shit left and right. Well, Cal, you are as well. You drop some funkiness in there every once in a while too. And a carded collection speaks for itself. That is art, right? When you start showing off things like a mint on card shockwave, that is art. That is art. I don't care what anybody else is doing. I want to see that mint on card. That shit is fire. But every time he does take some kind of a dio shot, it's awesome. Rock Lockdown giving him his praise. Good. I'm glad everybody is enjoying that. Bearded Sumo has I have an art question for Stevie. From this interview, I've heard passion drives your picks. Is that the same for your art?
Well, I answered it in the chat, but yeah, pretty much. No, you're fine. I like to do stuff that it's funny. My art for the longest time was more geared towards my family, so to speak. Like I would take everyday things that we were doing and just try to do something funny with it or whatever, like characters and whatnot. Um, and then I don't know, for some reason that died down, not because of my family or anything, but just I guess just life and changing and stuff. And then like I I guess the other thing I guess is because of like being autistic, it's hard to relate to people or communicate or uh, uh, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, be
Uh,
on the same page or whatever, or
right.
just common ground or whatever.
Sure.
Like I
Sure.
think of some really weird stuff. Like for example, if you had a tail, okay, would it be like a monkey tail and hairy, or would it be like a rat's tail? Because I think of like how our arms are. Then would we just have a hole in our pants, or would it have a sleeve? And would that be a long sleeve or a short sleeve?
I mean, they're all valid questions as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly, but I bet nobody's ever thought of that. But anyway, so like for work, because people want you to be social and stuff, like with the stuff I do and stuff, and it's not always easy. So I bought a button maker and I make stickers and I just draw little characters of people making food and stuff because I worked at Sheets and
Hmm.
and that's how I'm like, hey, good job, Nancy. Here's a sticker, and it's personalized. It's not them or anything, but it's something that relates to the job or whatever, and it's unique and whatever, and I use it for that. So and then that's passion for me. And then it's funny because if I look through my portfolio or all my art that I've been doing the last couple of years, my work-based art, you see this downward spiral of
Mm.
where I start out like, yeah, and then it just gets more and more glum and sad, and
Right. Right.
to the point of where I don't have any have work art. It doesn't exist anymore. I haven't
Mhm.
done it in a while, and and yeah, that's why I can say that it's about passion. It's about whatever. And I don't think he was on earlier, but yeah, when I was talking about the dios, from playing as a kid to now, it's more about emotion. It's more about a reaction or relationships. Whereas when I was a kid, it was about reliving the comic or reliving the cartoon or something.
Right.
Now,
Right.
not so much, but I still throw some of it in. The dio I'm working on right now, and I'll just throw it out there because you know me. I talked to you about some of these too, and it's like it takes so long to get them done that the idea is just bugging the hell out of you the whole time. So
Mm.
I built this Mindbender lab thing, and I don't have Serpentor, don't care, but the whole thing of Mindbender and creating Serpentor. So I was gonna have Mindbender, and I always see him as like the Techno Vipers are hanging out with him, like they're his guys. For
Right.
me, the Techno
Right.
Vipers are his, and so I just have this thing where he's in the lab checking shit out, and the one Techno Viper's walking with him, and like got a pad, and he's checking stuff off, and he walks by a cloning tank, and in it is fucking Torch, and he's just waving, and he says, hey, Mr. Mindbender, and then Mindbender just walks past and goes, hey, Torch, and then just stops, like, wait a minute, you're gonna mess up my greatest warrior kind of shit, and that's the next one that I'm kind of playing in my head, and I may not even do it, but um, the idea popped in when I was driving to work, and I was like, that'd be kind of funny because, and in my head, I hear it with the cartoon voices. So Torch has got that dumb, Britishy rough accent, and just the fact that he's in the chamber. It's like, what are you doing in there? He was just looking for grape soda, but he's just in
Right.
there hanging out now. Um, oh, but yeah, that's the cloning tube that I
Oh, right.
made.
Right. Yep. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Dude, I'm always relatively blown away with the stuff that you show me, right? A lot of it's kind of like because first of all, I've gotten so far away with not changing that print screen, the issues with the laptop. Like I never haven't spent any of this time getting better at it, right? And I remember I shrunk one of these so because my print thing was only so tall, so I had to
Right.
take this and shrink it so it would fit. And I remember doing that and getting it to work, and I was like, I felt like I was, I felt like I was Neo in the Matrix. I was like, I
Oh
did it.
yeah.
I'm fucking
Yeah.
amazing, you know. But you're making, you're making your own stuff, designing your own stuff, and I think yeah, it's only a matter of time before you're just pumping stuff out. I mean, dude, the like the fencing, like shit like that, bro. It looks so amazing where it's got the razor wire on the top. And and you sent me a picture. It wasn't even painted yet, and I still thought it looked incredible, right? So there's yeah, you're really stepping up that Dio game. I always respect the hustle on that. And so it's knowing that what do you think like what's your next big step with your dio making, your printing? What is something you want to do to like up your game?
um. Honestly, I don't know because there's something about I don't know. The one thing I've noticed with the 3D printing is there's a lot of downtime while you're waiting for stuff,
Sure.
and um, and again, like the first couple like the ones you talked about at the beginning, those were all before I had the 3D printer, so that was all handcrafted, and there is something to say about the artistry that goes into finding everyday objects and turning them into believable new objects.
Sure. Sure.
And it feels like magic when you do it and it works.
Yeah.
Um, but then there's also like hold on, let me grab it. Ugh. So like I previewed this today, but it's like these things here, like this is all plastic, it's all made. And that's good and all, and it takes a while to print all that. But then you have like this wall that's just
Awesome. It's
foam core with plastic bits. So it's like, well, where do you go? Like where do you what do you print all plastic and what do you mix up and add in other things? And I guess it comes down to how big do you want it and what's it for? How often are you going to reuse it and things like that. Like that wall I just showed you, the other one, the 3D printed one. I've made so many panels for that. And honestly, I don't know why, because I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
right. Right.
Like I don't have, I mean, I have some ideas, of course, but and I made it so that, it can tear apart, so you have a shorter version and a taller version, and or you can have like pull out this middle section, so then you have the wall and then a lookout, whatever. The
Awesome.
plan the plan is then in the back I build a platform that comes out, so then you can have people standing up looking over the wall,
Mm,
things like that. But um, I think for me, it's about making things modular and working together with other things. Stuff that like MoMind's already doing and Sys 3D Arsenal to an extent. Um, but I'm not looking to, you know, I don't think I'm looking to sell. I'm not looking to do kind of what they do. I
right.
mean,
Right.
it's more for me, and if somebody wants it, like, hey, yeah, I can print you one. What you got to trade, or
Yeah.
you want to pay me a little, I'll send it to you that way.
Sure.
Um, because I come to realize, and I realized it with Conrad, that it's just easier for me to trade stuff that I can make for things I need. Like for figures or something that I'm not going to buy or I can't justify buying it. Um, That's what it all comes down to, I think, because the older you get, the more you think about sometimes, or I should say, the older you get and you have this set income, you think about your purchases a lot more. And
Sure. Sure.
and of course we all have wants, and stuff like that. And that sounded really weird, but
No.
and I have a lot of stuff. I do. Um, but I don't have everything I want, I guess.
Well, I mean, dude, if you think about it though, I really feel like that is a win-win. Like
Well,
I feel
yeah,
you could set it up where all you have to is like, hey, here's the new wave coming out.
yeah,
I need one of these. I'd like two of these. If you feel like, and then it's obvious, okay, here's what the total cost for these two figures and getting it shipped to me is going to be this.
yeah,
Tell me what, I can offer you, blah, blah, blah. I think it's fucking awesome. Uh,
yeah.
Never trade with someone named Barry, says Metal Twister. Is that something from a movie and I can't think of what it is? What is that about, Metal Twister? You got to fill us in. Mo's Mind says, answer, you buy more printers. Well,
It's funny. I've thought of that. The next thing that I want to do, I think, is to get one that will print more than one filament at a time. The one thing
right,
I hate the
right.
most is going back and painting like those lines on. I would like to be able to paint to print like that gray wall, but already have the Cobra logo be red. Um, but that's the other thing too, that you come into with 3D printing and whatnot, and GI Joe toys, is like how much do you want it to look brand new, and
Mm,
how much do you want it to be weathered or
right.
look more realistic? Like the one thing I do too for dio building is I look at a lot of model railroad magazines and a lot of like World War II model magazines and stuff,
Okay.
to get a lot of ideas for scenery and for how to build scenery, and and how to make your stuff look more real. And
Mm.
the one thing that I wish I could do, and I will never do it, um, because I don't do it with my figures either. And Jay Antonio knows this because I've said, pretty sure I've told him, nah, I can't do that. That's touching the figure. That's touching, like, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do the flat spray. I want to, but I can't. I don't
Right,
want to.
right, right.
I'm afraid I'll mess it up. But anyway, dude, they make like mud that you paint on mud. And I
Hmm.
would love to do a stinger up to where it's just, been through hell.
Right, right,
Um,
right.
and with, 25, $30 stingers at Walmart, it would be pretty easy, but you really can't find them anymore.
Well, I'll tell you, so I have three, right? And one of them I got some gridiron stuff on and I love it. Dude, I would really like to, number one, have an Arctic stinger, but I think we're gonna get that. I have a feeling we get that, right? They're gonna release that. How easy, it's another Arctic vehicle, and how easy would that be? But what I really honestly want, and I was considering maybe doing it myself, is a Python Patrol one. So I've got that huge Python Patrol. There's fucking 60 figures. I think it's 60 Python Patrol figures. I've got the Gridiron mech suit, seven trouble bubbles, well, eight trouble bubbles altogether because there's one in the mech suit. And I really feel like even if I could do it where, like, let me see. So if you start with just this base color and you add hints of yellow, not even like not even do this whole thing right here yellow, but do like almost, I would even like imagine like the inside right there, that light, it's like a little light in there with a little bit of yellow. Or you take this, take actually I would take them all off because they would be totally loosey goosey, but doing something, a little bit of yellow here. They have like the Python Patrol bats have their upper is that deep maroon color. I would be popping that off just about everywhere that I could, right? And like this hood right here, that does this hood lift up on this one too?
No.
Oh yeah, sure. So I would actually hit this with
The
the,
fucking hood lifts?
the hood lifts, brother. So I would make this whole thing yellow so the yellow sticks out from in between, you
Holy
know.
fuck. I didn't know that.
No, that bitch lifts up, brother.
I just
Yep.
thought that little piece popped off.
No, no, she's good
I
to
had to
go.
check mine. I didn't believe you, man, even though you just did it in front of me.
Right. No, I know what that's like. But I just feel like there's a way that you could add. I could add just some real good accents on here and make it a Python Patrol because I feel like they deserve to have a vehicle like this. Um, Speaking of
Well,
which, oh,
I know
yeah,
I know. Since you're talking about stingers, though, I do know there's one dude out there. I don't know who it is. Somebody will say it. Who has a dreadnought stinger kit you can buy,
okay,
which is something that I thought about getting, even though I usually don't do that kind of stuff. But I do have a second stinger that's still in the box.
nice.
Um, but you were talking about an Arctic stinger. I guarantee you, if they do an Arctic stinger, I guarantee you the Gridiron or somebody will. You know how Gridiron has the what's the one? It's the
The
one where
Hound,
it
the
adds the
Hound.
second tire to the back,
It's
makes it
it
a troop
well,
carrier.
yep. And then they have Gridiron has the Hound that's got the skis in the front, right? Wheels in the back, skis in the front.
But I bet you if they did an Arctic Stinger, I guarantee you, I bet you Gridiron would make that back for the Stinger, make it
Mm.
white, and put track wheels on it.
So there are, I believe is it Pixis Design that makes those. Have you seen those triangle shaped tracks? I believe that you get all four of them, bro, for like $50. It's an absolute fucking steal. All you got to do is just paint that fucking Stinger mostly white with some black accents and pop those bitches on there. Actually, I can't remember who showed it to me. I think Evil Dookie. So Evil Dookie made a Dreadnought Stinger that had four whatchamacallit on it so we can go through the swamp, had the four tracks, and he painted it this really cool, like mustard yellow, and it was all dirtied up. That dude, I hope you're checking him out, brother, because he's especially because you're creative like he is, and that dude stays making shit all the time, and it's pretty cool. So
Yeah,
um
Pixis is the one I was thinking of for the Dreadnought Stinger. Yeah, there
okay,
it is. Yeah.
nice. Uh, Cal says, my dad had a Betamax. It was way better than a VHS and still lost the war. Yeah, I mean, that's, um, let's see, Rock Lockdown. And now you know, knowing is half the battle. J. Antonio says, I like my dios dirty. Yeah, me too. I just, dude, again, it just all comes down to time. Like, there's so much, Steve, we talk about this all the time. So much stuff that we want to do, and we just, you just, I try to get in, and like what happens a lot of times is, oh, great, the kids are asleep, and it's 9:15. I haven't showered or had dinner yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
how
yeah.
am I? How the fuck am I going to
But
get down there?
that's like with my new job. I mean, I'm home pretty much at little after 3 every day. And ever since I started this position, have you seen a dio come out from me on
Uh,
Twitter?
nah, bro,
No.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, I don't even mess with this stuff anymore for some reason. It's like I think it's just adjusting to the new schedule because I kind of come home and I don't know what to do with myself. Like,
Right.
because, but
I
yeah,
do. I do. I mean, I'm happy for you too. Congratulations on that, by the way. I know what that was and what that meant to you and how awesome it was. So congratulations once
thanks,
again. Yeah,
thanks.
absolutely, absolutely, for sure. But I mean, hey, I keep saying this. I play like the Powerball and stuff, and who knows? Maybe one of these days, I can win enough money where we can all stay home and build dials all day.
Well,
I'm gonna build.
I said a while back, you be the guy to set this up, but yeah, like they should have like a rental. You know how like they have Ted's Rent a Center and stuff when you need tools and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody needs to have like a Joe toy rental thing. So like, I need a his tank for a dio. I'll just rent one for a week and send it
That,
back.
dude, that would be awesome. If there was a demand for it, I would definitely do that. I tell you, who else would be great is that local guy who had four of his tanks, two rattlers, fucking. I think he had multiple dragonflies, but I don't think. I don't think he had them set up. I think he only had one Dragonfly set up, and he had like two more in the box or something like that. Yeah, that dude was crazy. If you guys think I buy a lot of shit, this dude, he had 50 bats. Or no, I'm sorry, he had 50 when I got there. I think he started off with 75. He had sold a few. He had 75 bats, 75, and he bought them all like outright when they came out, and they were. I think back then they were like 22.99. Can you fucking
You know
imagine?
what's what's weird is I think about that, and I look at pictures, and I'm sorry, you do fall into the category a little bit of where people have like these massive armies of plastic figures, and I get it. I mean, like well, I shouldn't say I get it because that's why I'm talking about it, but it's like when I did HeroClix, I was really big into Sentinels, and from the X-Men, and I have they're in my attic right now. I got rid of almost all my HeroClix, but I kept my Sentinels. I don't know why, because they're just in a box in the attic. But I probably have, I don't know, maybe between 20 and 25 Sentinels. And they're pretty big. I mean, they were like 25, $30 a pop. I got some of them free. I traded for a lot of them. And then I judged events, so I'd have these Sentinel battles, and that's one of the reasons why I had them. But for some reason, I just wanted them. Like I couldn't explain it. And maybe that's what it is with some of this. But like why do you need 50 bats if you're not like building this huge dio to use
Right.
them?
No, they were
Like
just in a shelf, not even tiered. So you'd have to walk up to it and see like behind there. I mean, obviously, I do. It's obviously some kind of a compulsion. And believe me, I do fall into this category where if what gets me is like, I'll just be scrolling through the timeline and I'll be like, oh, the Techno Viper is under $20. That's the thing. Once a figure goes under $20, I'm just like, oh, I'll get another one of those. And you're like, it's $20. It's free
right,
delivery.
yeah.
It's $20. But then when you do
Well,
that 7 times in a week,
yeah. Well,
it's
I
a
will.
lot.
Yeah, I will say that the funny thing is the most figures I have of one is actually the retro Cobra Trooper.
Okay. Okay.
And the only reason is because before it came out, like before it hit the stores or hit Walmart anyway, somebody apparently took a bunch back to my Walmart,
Huh.
and they didn't know what to do with them, I guess, because they weren't in their system yet,
Okay.
and they put them in the clearance section. So I got them for like 750,
Oh,
and I bought a bunch just
man.
because they were 750. And I hate the suspenders because they bunch up.
They
But
do. They really do. But it
but I
is an awesome
mean,
figure for the
it
most part.
is. It's a really good figure.
Definitely. I enjoy it. I really have come around. I talked about this a few times, so I'll be brief, but I do enjoy what it appears they're doing with the retro line where the mainline classified that we get, like Beachhead is a good example. The number 10 Beachhead is a new version of Beachhead, but good. It looks a lot like the original, but it's like
Uh-huh.
updated, right? And then they come out
Right.
with the retro and the retro is exactly what we had when we were kids. Now,
Mhm.
they did the same with the Viper, right? Where here is your classified version. Here's the classified one. Then we have the retro, which is precisely like it was in season 2 of Real American Hero. So that I very much enjoy. But when they did something like they did Shockwave and Firefly, like Firefly had the this one, right, that Jay Antonio so graciously sent me. So this one right here, this is like the updated version, which I've come
Right.
around to liking a little bit more. But then they didn't put the retro version in the retro line. They came out with him in the main line. So I don't know why maybe I'm sure, if Jeremy was here, I guarantee you he
It
would have some
probably
better
has
notes
to
about
do it probably has to do with that Firefly, that Beachhead. I believe they were all Target exclusives, Cobra Island Tiger or Cobra Island Target exclusives, and they just redid them in the classified line. Well, Beachhead was retro, but and the other thing is, I think that original Firefly, the Cobra Island, I don't have that one. I was gonna buy it, but I bought the other one. That one I heard he's kind of hard to pose because of the vest. Like it
Yes.
gets in the
Yes.
way.
It
It's
does look that
bulky.
way. Yep.
But yeah, and that could be why they did the Firefly that way because maybe it was customer feedback. So they were like, well, he's going to be classified
Right.
and
Right.
whatnot.
I'm with it. Real quick, because it looks like he's only got a sec. Brother Conrad is in the house. My dude, thank you for stopping by. He says, so I'm moving into my apartment this week. My 4-year-old son carried all of my little Joe tubs up the stairs to the new Joe room. I'm completely shocked. Dude is a trooper. Yeah, man. He said that those toys ain't on the plastic adds up when you got a big bin. Congrats. Oh, and hey, congrats on the new place, my dude. I love it. I love it. You'll have to give us all an update when you get settled in and let us know how you made out, dude. That'd be awesome. Um, yeah. Kind of got sidetracked there. I forgot what we were talking about. But let's see. Oh, well, we were to slide back. Rock Lockdown says, I found a bat deal on Amazon back in the day for $10 each. That was a good day. So I do believe that what I said to him was, I was like, hey, when did you buy all these like full price? And I believe I'm never going to remember the number, but it was something crazy. Like I think he bought like 30 of them right off the bat, like pre-ordered 10 everywhere he could get his hands on, and he got like 30 of them. I think it was 30 like right off the bat, and then he said he bought another 20 and had 50, and then something had come up, and that's where he got like the next 25. He got it. Maybe that was the $10 deal, which I would buy 25 of them fucking too. Beard Silla says, we talked about Pix's design. I got the Arctic Ripsaw Wolverine and a spoiler, which are badass. Fucking yeah, they are, dude. Hell yeah. That shit's dope as hell. Now, speaking of Arctic and tracks and shit, I'm just gonna show this. Oh, I've had that upside down the whole time. Everybody knows what it is. It's the Atlas. Absolute King Kong beast. Now, Matt has been teasing it a little bit.
Do you have a car seat? Do you have a car seat in your car that rides around in?
Yes. Yes. Everywhere I bring it, I strap it in to make sure that it's good. So imagine if this had rear tracks, right? And then we had some kind of a Arctic variant, option on the back, right? Maybe there's a battle bear that comes out of it. Maybe there's, like a bivouac style thing that's going to come out of there. But imagine it's got the different colors of white, and I think he's going to update the ARC. They'll still have all the accoutrements that you've come to love from this motherfucking badass. I mean, dude, as much as I know sometimes it may seem not disingenuous, but I'm complimentary about a lot of things. And of course, this is something that I hold dear. Oh, Big Red says he's crashing out. Thank you for joining us, brother. Have a good night. We will chat tomorrow, my dude. Oh, and thank you again. Everybody give Big Red a round of applause. He hooked me up with my quote with this turbo 3-pack Viper, one of my favorite classifieds. So thank you, my brother. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your night. Looks like Conrad is nice hang. Good night, fellas. Thanks for coming through, Big. I appreciate it. I'm in for one legacy soldier. Probably going to use him as Molto. Oh, okay, nice. So there it is. Imagine this in an Arctic version. How awesome that's going to be, right? So just keep that in mind. When everybody out there starts getting snowcat FOMO, because they didn't order one, they didn't get one before you jump through the roof and pay a ton of money for one of those. We have a viable HasLab alternative staring you right in the face. You cannot go wrong. Stevie, let me ask you a question. Can you see that locker system in the background? Is that small, or can you actually, because on my screen everything is teeny
It's too
tiny.
small.
It's okay. So I got up to, I've been trying to find ways because I love that locker system and I want it to be able to be seen. I just got to use it in more photos. But anybody that's watching, so over here, sorry, I got a bunch of eels that I've been trying to get opened, put them in the package. Hold on. So I know a bunch of us have this, and I have been saying this over and over. So I removed. I'll show you. It comes with this. I just don't want to show it. It is a awesome Modus. That belt fed piece connects to this can, which comes on and off. And that goes, I'll show you on the inside. That's where that is. Little shelf. One of my favorite parts of anything, the backpack holders. There's backpack holders in the Atlas. More backpack holders. Boop. Surface is amazing. So there it is. This is basically I think this is your best bang for your buck on the internet. Like you can't, for this amount of, you're getting something so big for this amount of money. I think it's awesome. The modular ability. Pull that pin, pull that right off, and then that piece right there will connect to a multitude of things. I now am the proud owner of the bar and the Joe colors, and then the ARC cannon, which I have Steeler operating. This here, you know what? I bet you I can do this real quick. I'm going to put it on this side. Oops. I think this would be close enough, right? So hey, as I showed, you take that part off, and then this one off. Boop, 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 boop. So you've got the outpost just chilling. And now, which this standalone ARC cannon is totally awesome with all the hoses and everything in the back. Now look, that's how that goes on. Now look at what you got. Now I would actually prefer to put the bar, two sides of the bar right here, and then put this on. That way it's just a little spaced out so you have more rotation in the cannon. But you can almost go 360 degrees around of protection with that. Like an absolute total battle station. Look how awesome that is, dude. So the first thing I saw when I had never came across any of Matt's stuff from Mine is this. I saw this and immediately was like, I have to have that. And then I saw that bar, which is kind of buried right now behind a bunch of trench vipers. This and this are the same thing, just in different schemes. It's there isn't anything else. There isn't anything else out there that you can get that has like this amount of that you can connect to be this big and this awesome. It just I if there's something else out there, I'm happy to have somebody tell me. And that's with all due respect to any other printers that make bigger size stuff. It's this his designs are the shit. So I absolutely love this stuff. But not only that, Matt is a great guy. And I can't stress that enough about Matt and Chris, that when you are supporting those guys, they're not just members of the community. You're not just getting a great deal for whatever money you spend, but you are actually supporting great guys. Some of the guys that I know that are 3D printing out there right now are all in. I know Matt's all in. That's what he does full time. I believe Chris has something else, but either way, he's not fucking around either. So why don't you go over, take a look at all the awesomeness that Mo's Mind has going on. You can find him on Etsy. That's Mo's Mind Custom Design. Remember, use Destro Designs 10 to give you your 10% off. Now, as far as I know, Matt, are we still doing free shipping on the Atlas? Because y'all, that's like $50. So if you're paying for the Atlas, you're getting free shipping. You get Destro Designs 10, you get your 10% off. I mean, you can't go wrong. Martian dude in the house. What's up, my brother? Welcome in. Glad you could make it. I could see that okay, I gotta scroll back a little further. Am I the one who wants like a bunch of dino claw or whatever? No, the Dr. I actually think that the Paleo Viper? I think the Paleo Viper is awesome. He's got, I think, the alternate head. You can troop build with these dudes. You can have the 1 liter with the face, and then you can have I actually do. They gave the price point out. I'm trying to remember what it was. That's not going to be cheap though, But yeah, Cal, I'm with you, brother. It's flat shipping right now, so 10% fixes that bit for you guys. Okay, boom, there it is. So thank you, Matt. Make sure you are going over and again support members of the community, support great guys, and you also get cutting edge stuff, right? Like there ain't nothing like the Atlas out there. There's just not. I know there's people who are printing tomahawks and big vehicles and stuff like that, but that's GI Joe stuff. If you want something that stands out and doesn't look like anything else, it's the Atlas. And again, the Outpost. There's so much. Now, I have been teasing something that I can't wait till Matt puts out available for sale. I can't wait till I get one so I can take pictures of it. Stevie, you're gonna love it. It is phenomenal. It is. He's currently looking at dealing into some smaller items, like because listen, the Atlas is an investment. It is. It's not cheap. It's an investment, right? And Matt has had some ideas about doing some other things that are maybe not so much of an investment. But the one thing that I know is imminently coming is phenomenal. It's one of the coolest things. It's definitely going to be one of the products of 2026. It is awesome, and I cannot wait. It's like it is a versatile piece that you'll be able to use for, say, Joe and Cobra easily, bing bang boom like that. And it is something that everybody who just has a little bit of room on the shelf can get it and put it on the shelf. It's not going to be overcrowding anything. It's not vehicle sized. It's bread, smaller than a bread box. It's going to be dope. But
it's a riding lawnmower.
It's he's been dicking around with the design for a while, but the riding lawnmower is here. No, that it's going to be awesome, and I'm very excited. I can't wait for you all to see that. But also, he is further down the line. He's told me about some things that I can't really talk about at all, but I can tell you that if he goes full force into this, it's going to be maybe poor choice of words. If he goes full Monty, and he decides to put it all into that, then let me tell you something. Dialing that in tonight and tomorrow, crossing fingers for this week. All right, y'all. So the one thing that I've been bragging about for the last 2 weeks, it looks like hopefully sometime this week we get it out. Cannot wait. But the stuff that he's talking about doing further down the line is it's going to be awesome. If like I said, he's kind of like figuring and looking, there's a lot of, before you leap, sometimes you have to measure the distance and the weather, and you got to know it's right before you make that leap. And if it looks right to him and he makes that leap, we will all benefit greatly. So yeah, the suspense is killing me. Well, at least we will. Looks like we're getting one imminently. The rest of the stuff is going to be a little further down the road, but there is a void for the stuff that he's looking at doing, and we will suck the vacuity out of that void. We will all be buying. So yeah, I absolutely can't wait. So, but go check out what he does have right now over on Etsy, Mo's Mine Custom Design. Remember, use Destro Designs 10 to get you 10% off. Boom, boom, boom. Very good. Thank you again, Matt, for all the collaborations and everything that we've worked together on. I really look forward to the future. I think you have some amazing ideas, and I look forward to taking everything to the next level, my brother. Boom. I can't wait. Something else now. I think I'm gonna have to catch up with our boy Murphy's Innovative. Murphy's Innovative is fucking around. He's getting into a few things, so he sent me these really, really awesome rocket launchers. So if you look, I'm going to pop it off. If you look, this is like an extra shield on the top and the side. You know what I mean? Just like a little bit of extra protection on the side that's open to attack. Yeah, dude. Yep. I like this. I get free other ideas. Right? Back from the 80s. So this is crazy cool. Murph said that he was going to have this on an Etsy potentially out this week. I got to catch up with him and see how he's doing with that, because I made this, and this actually came from GI Customs. Little Gatling hand. I like it because it's minimal. It's not. It just looks like it's something that they could wield easily. But I mean, I now have an assault snake. Got a little fright, doing some crowd control, just flamethrower. He's got this little nice mini Gatling, and then we've got these here. So, and I don't take enough pictures with these. I can tell you that right now. here's one of those things like, that I was like, yeah, I was so excited to get these. And then I have a shot, I've had the shot plan to use all 5 of them and I still haven't even done it. But Murphy's innovative is messing around. He's got some stuff that came out. And I don't know if anybody saw it, but he made a Joe colored slugger and a 788 fire team colored slugger. And they both look very, very good. So he's going to be messing around with some things. And that's exciting too. Now, our boy GI Customs, he's got something cool going on. Really great guy. I hope everybody saw or at least did the replay gang of the episode that I did with him was that this week or was that last week? That was this week, wasn't it? Wasn't it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. 17th. Yeah, 17th. He was great. He was a great host. We had a great conversation. I look forward to doing it again for sure. He's got. Now you're gonna have to wait for me to do the pictures to show you the gate, but now I can do it because my brother Jeremy Kimberlin, host of the Pit, a Facebook group on a GI Joe group on Facebook, he sent me. I just now have my 3rd porta potty, so I can finally do this whole thing where this is going to be on one side, and we're gonna have the double stack over on this side with the gates that go on here. And they're perfect. They open up for a stinger to drive through. So it's going to be like an access gate with the bar from Moe's Mine going down the side in a similar fashion to the outdoor shot that I just did, the snow thing. But I'm going to actually be incorporating all this, and it's going to be guarded by the trench vipers and just be much more of a whatchamacallit. So GI Customs got some shit popping off. Make sure you go check him out. No promo code on there yet, but we'll see what happens in the future with my dude there. But yeah, I have to drop that in. I feel like there was something else that I was going to show everybody, but it's escaping my mind. I can't tell you. I don't know if it's a sign of age, but I'm always thinking that I'm forgetting something. It's just constant. I'm always like, man, I'm going to walk out of a room and I'm like, man, did I just fucking forget something? It's crazy. Rock Lockdown. Thanks for coming, my brother. Those figs are in the air. They should be to you. Did they arrive already? They might be there today or maybe even on Monday, if not tonight. But yeah, fuck yeah, bro. Thank you so much for that trade. Yeah, I traded Rock for the I gave him a cop and a frag viper for the Twilight Guard, which if you feel like that's a overpay, I insisted because he has traded with me other things. Like I really upped my Python patrol rate. I think he sent me like 11 figures and a trouble bubble at such a low cost that the initial number he gave me, I had to add. I was like, no, I would even give you this much more and still feel like I'm getting a complete deal. So my dude was looking for shelf space and he was like, I just want to know they go to a good home, that whole thing. And it was very generous. It's very similar with the Rattler. Dan Salsato was basically just like, yo, I'll just send it to you. Give me the shipping and I'll just send it to you. And I was like, I have to give you something. And he's like, I'm not worried about it. If you give me something great, if you don't, it's it was very, very generous of him. And so of course I'm giving a market value because anybody that's works with you and something like that, I was like, whatever they're going for on eBay, maybe I'll go just a little under, and then that way, everybody's happy. So very, very ecstatic for that. Thank you, Dan. Now, I hope you all are subscribed, liking, and watching our dude curator Dan's videos because personally I find them to be pretty dope. Now, largely because, maybe I feel like I was there at the beginning of things where he was kind of, going through his ideas of how he wanted to do it. And I was so like, yes, this is exactly it. Because I feel like I'm in a similar boat where like I have all these unopened figures, right? I've gotten much better. I've opened up I have my pile is down to like 50 figures that are right over there. Like imminently, these have to be opened, right? I have all the ones that I'm going to keep carded and stuff. And I do got to go through this whole stack. There's like a whole bunch of them right here that I just got to sort out which ones are empty boxes, which ones I'm keeping carded and which ones I got to open so I can fucking open these things. But anyway, Dan is doing it. You got to remember, Dan started collecting classifieds, like right around the time they came out. I think what it was like wave 3 or 4 came out like that first year, and then he started buying them, and he never opened anything. So he was getting all the vehicles. He was keeping all the. I mean, he was getting shipped from like Fans Hobby, all these aftermarket things, all kinds of stuff. Just literally just vacuuming up everything and setting it aside because the dude was looking. He's going to buy a house. He's like, I don't want to open everything until I find my home that I can set up my whole shit. And so he found his home. The dude moved. He got into it. He set up his office. I think just the other day, he finally got his first curio cabinet so he can do a display in a curio, right? But he's done these videos. If you haven't seen them, he picks 3, 4, or 4 or 5 figures. He opens them up. He walks you through. He's got them on this cool, it's a craft mat, so you can see how big it is. It's like the measurement. He wears these white gloves, which I think is just a cool ass touch. I think it's fantastic. I mean, if you're like me with these workman's hands, you don't want to see this shit. But yeah, he's showing off the figure, everything like that. And I think it's fantastic. Personally, I fucking love it. You get to hear the excitement in his voice. Now he's opening figures that most of you guys have had, right? You've had these figures. Like he opened the original Storm Shadow the other day, and you should hear him talk about it. Or Spirit. It was like Storm Shadow, Spirit, and 2 other ones I don't remember, but it was 4 awesome figure and characters, and you could hear the excitement in his voice as he goes through it. It's really cool, and and he enjoys doing it. So make sure you're over there supporting our dude. Also, I somehow I didn't say all this when I saw my dude Abby was in here. The Figure Fight Club. Excellent show. I go this Tuesday. I'm going to be there. The last week I missed it. It was so busy. I went on GI Customs, and then right afterwards I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna hop on with Figure Fight Club in a minute, but I'm gonna go upstairs and hang out with the kids. I fell asleep setting up, so I missed the show that night. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Make sure I talk about those guys because they're totally kick ass. Also, my brother Mark, I was there on Monday. We had a great time. I always have an awesome time. Mark is going to be coming on this show. I'm sending out a date to him. We already loosely talked about it, but I'm going to send out a date. I meant to do it today. I'm going to send out a date for him. So Mark is going to come to Viper Den Studios. All right, I get to ask him the questions. It's going to be. I mean, I think that dude is awesome. I hope you guys like him as much as I do. I have an absolute blast whenever I go on his show. It's just, I don't know. I think he's awesome. So, and an amazing content creator. Like every time I watched one of his new things, which I saw just before we hopped on, I saw he dropped something. So I'll have to go and share it. But dude, shout out to Mark. He's fucking awesome. I cannot wait to have him in Viper Den Studios for that interview. Now, also, if you watched this week, we had another gentleman on. It was Mark, Birdman, myself, and then up here was another Mark from Yojo Reviews. He's on YouTube with Yojo Reviews. He has an amazing channel. He loves talking about GI Joes. He's also going to be coming on the show soon. But beyond that, I do believe he has another account called Mark Reviews or something like that. I have to get that info. That I think is a relatively massive channel. But he also has the G.I. Joe one because he loves G.I. Joes. I don't know if you saw, he had that Night Force t-shirt on. Oh, I was like, I need that. I fucking need that. Not just a Night Force shirt, but the one in that hot glow orange. I thought that was incredible. So, I hope you all got to see that because that was great. On Monday, I believe Mark rescheduled 1984. So he has a gentleman coming on. They're going to talk about 1984. I'm not going to be there this week. It's, I talk so much. You got to let other people on without me on so they can get a chance to spread their wings and fly. So, but I enjoy when I do get to go on there. I can't speak to when that's going to be next, but I'm not worried. I'm sure it'll be soon. Cal says, carded, you say? Yeah, Cal, I've loosely mentioned this a little bit. So it's kind of like, so the ones, anyone that has the clear packaging, I almost want to have carded. The ones that are like this, I don't need to have a figure in there. I'll just keep the box like this, right? But ever since I started the figures that I bought in 2025, there's like I saw with the first couple waves that came in, like I got that breaker. I was like, ooh, I want one of these in the box. And then I got a couple. I traded some. I got, crystal ball. I want one of those in the box. Dial tone stayed in the box. I don't know. Just some of the ones that I see, I'm like, man, I want to keep that in the box. Hit and run. I got an extra hit and run because he's going to stay in the box, and I'm probably gonna open two. I feel like he's a good army builder. Even though hit and run is a character, I feel like I can do other heads on that body. That's an army builder body for sure. Bunch of dudes are lowering themselves on the rope, getting ready to make that move. That shit's dope. Snow Leopard, later, guys. I'm going to get some sleep. I have family coming over in 7 hours. Brother, thank you so much. Get your rest. Enjoy family day tomorrow. We will see you in them church streets, my dude. Nice. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the old troop building. And and Steve, you had also mentioned it earlier. Like, yeah, I don't know. The thing I wanted 10 Night Vipers. I legitimately the extra five. I who knows? I still reserve the right to return five of them. Although I don't think that's going to happen. I think at this point, I'm just going to keep them because the money's already gone. you know, but no, the responsible thing would be to most likely bring back five. But the idea of having 15 sounds amazing. I like joking about it.
Responsible? You're not responsible.
No, I'm not. I haven't been for a long time. There's an argument to say that I've never officially really been that responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So what's on your hit list, Stevie? What are the figures that you'd like to get most right now?
That exist.
Yeah, that are out.
Old stuff. One would be Zartan. Like I have the retro Zartan,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah. Same thing with Destro. I have the retro Destro.
Yeah. I like the retro Destro. The problem is after having seen, or having in hand the Mezco Destro, it's going to be hard for me to use anything else. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
It's just such a ridiculously cool figure.
Yeah. Trying to think of because it's mainly old stuff that I missed out on. The retro uh, Storm Shadow and the retro Snake Eyes.
Nice,
Um,
nice. Oh
you
God,
know, I kept passing on both of them. Like when they were still like 30 or $35. I kept passing on them. I kept putting them in my Christmas list, and my wife would get me something different. And
right, right.
but mainly those actually, because I do like the like Serpentor's cool and all that, but it's too unaffordable. Um, I have actually thought about biting the bullet on the Rattler Baroness though.
Yeah, yeah, dude,
But
that's
but
an amazing figure.
I just can't. I still can't do it. Just
It's
one of
a
those things.
it's a lot of dough, bro.
Yeah.
$150 for a figure is a lot, and
You know. Good.
I would say that's on the cheaper end. That's if it might be
Yeah.
more now. I don't even I'm not even sure.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Like it was even like I stopped at Target to try to see if I could get one of those combo packs when they were on clearance here just yesterday or the day before, and nothing. They had a couple cops and a couple desert scorpions, and
Dude, that 20, I think I got two of them off of Target.com, the Sand Scorpions for $22.99, bro.
yeah.
$22.99. How fucking ridiculous.
Let's see. Yeah, that's the other thing that's crazy too, because it's like one of those things of like, when it first came out, especially like the cops and the desert scorpion and the ghost vipers, they were rare and they were going for really high prices or higher prices, and then now they dropped, well, except for ghost viper, but
Right,
the other
right,
stuff. And it's like hit and run. I was making up a list. I said to myself, well, my wife sometimes wants a list of, like, if I want to surprise you with something. So I started a list of Joe figures that I'm going to try to keep up to date, um, with basically just everything that's on Amazon that I don't have, or that I don't mind having another one of. And when I was making that list, Hit and Run was not available. And I was like, is he rare? What's up with that? So when I saw him at Walmart, I bought him, of course, because I figured, well, I may never see him. It almost felt like the Breaker situation. Um, but that's the chance you take. Like, all these people were paying, higher money for Desert Scorpions and stuff, and now they're like $20. Um, I I want to say Breaker was on clearance somewhere too at one point. But
There was so Crystal Ball and Breaker. There were certain stores that popped up where they were on sale, despite being hard to get at some
right.
point.
But and that's the funny thing too, because people have been posting pictures of Torch at Walmart on clearance.
Which is
Um,
crazy. I don't know where they got all those extra figures
but
from.
that's the thing. My two of the Walmarts I went to had a bunch of torches, but they weren't on clearance.
Right, right, right.
But not that I need it anymore. One torch is enough. But it's just funny how that works out. Like, with that,
It's
just like
crazy.
Dial Tone. Dial Tone was like a higher priced figure, but now he's like $23, I think, on Amazon currently.
There was a small window of time that I ordered. I had like four of them, and the offers I was getting from people was crazy. People like
Right.
I traded dude, it was so well. Now this is also not just it being like hard to find. The gentleman was being nice. Yeah, I traded a snow job for dial tone, straight up. That was
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and then I can't remember. I feel like I
That's
feel
awesome. I wish I could find that trade. Yeah, that's like, actually, Snow Job is another figure that I would have liked to have gotten at some point. But again, he's up there in price. Like, it prices itself out for like.
it's well, I'm blessed. There's a couple figures that I would have had a hard time getting. A Roblox hit me off with not only like seven or eight really awesome figures. He also gave me, uh, Chuckles.
Right.
That thing was running high. My brother CG Horror. That's the only reason I have this is because CG Horror sent that to me, which
Right. Yeah.
then that's because yeah, man. I mean, it's when there's so many things. It's like think of how many figures you could get for $200, right? You could go to Amazon
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
just you could get like a squad of people. For the price of one Serpentor. So yeah, I feel like I feel like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And those are the choices you make. Like, when I'm shopping four figures, like, I got an extra $30. Sometimes I go with two figs that are on sale just because it stretches my dollar,
Right, right.
as opposed to something I might really want.
I
Um,
mean, it's two figs is two figs, bro. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
it means a lot. But I know what you're saying about the idea of picking those ones up, and every once in a while, when there's even like a little whiff of it sounding like people are having a hard time getting it, I usually go out and I'll try to pick up a couple because you can get like I did very well. I bought every
yeah, you
crystal
get good
ball.
trades.
I got every crystal ball I could find for under like 30-35 bucks. And every trade that those are the three that they asked about every time. Breaker,
Hmm.
dial tone, crystal ball. Do you have one of those? And that's
Right.
how, they would all start.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, Chris from Sister Arsenal says Snow Job is like a plus 100 plus now for sure. And if anybody is out there and you want to get this figure, I would suggest biting that bullet and doing it now. And I only say this because when the Arctic stuff starts to drop, the snowcat arrives, then over the course of those months, the Hiss tank finally shows up, or the Arctic Hiss. I feel like everything is going to get really expensive or not, like the snow serpents the retro snow serpents that we've seen, anywhere between 19 and $22 for a long time. People are going to start buying those up. Now, I'm not saying they're all going to disappear, but how much of a bitch would it be that you can't get yourself your third and fourth snow serpent because there's dudes like me that have 16, and that's what, I've been saying it for the better part of a few months. Like, hey, if you got an extra $20, just go get you a snow serpent. You thank me later when all that shit sells out. So, Metal Twister 3 Stick 1 says my next figure will probably be a vintage Man at Arms or Skeletor. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, very cool. Chris from Sister Arsenal also says cops came to snatch my crops. I love that. I love that whole album. That whole album is amazing. I'm really surprised we have not seen more Arctic versions of already released characters. I would have to agree with you there, brother. It's not even like we even have an onslaught of name only reveals or renders, right? Have we even seen, who do we know that's coming? Iceberg. I know they mentioned that. But I think that's it. Like, what other
Flint and
snow?
Lady J.
Oh, sure, with the snowcat, that, no, for sure, that's 100%. But besides, which is okay,
Yeah.
the Arctic 3 pack, right? We know
Yeah.
that's coming. So I guess that is a few. Paul Morales from the Toy Chamber says Arctic Cobra Commander, please. I mean, I'd have to imagine they're going to hit all those notes, right? Destro, Cobra Commander. Um, Personally, I'm very interested in
Just
Firefly, Scrap Iron, like any of those guys, any of them.
have Antonio make you some.
Yeah, no, dude, that Snake Eyes that he has. One of my most wanted classifieds is that 25th anniversary Arctic Snake Eyes. He's got that big jacket. He's got the skull of Weasel's heads like Quinn. He's got he's all alpha commandered out. Yeah, man, that's where it's at for me. There is a window closing where they can pre-order these and get them out before. Yeah, no, you're right. 100%, Chris. So you would think that would be happening soon. They can't just leave us hanging with the Arctic 3 pack and then the ones that they have behind a fucking paywall, right? And we get Iceberg. Where's Blizzard? Why haven't we seen the deluxe Blizzard? You know, that's what I'm hoping that for people who didn't get a snow job, I'm hoping that they do Blizzard in such an over the top deluxe way that everybody can get their hands on that and kind of be happy that, like, oh, I didn't get a Blizzard or I didn't get a snow job, but look at this awesome Blizzard that I have.
Well, all they gotta do is do a retro snow job.
That's true. That's true. And I guess it's, but then it becomes like, do you want that retro though? Because wouldn't you want to have because dude, that deluxe, that backpack with all the shit on it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if
but
the-
it's just like the snow serpent. I mean, everybody would rather have the other one,
yeah, true.
but you get what you can get. I mean, it takes me back. It does take me back to like I was saying earlier about HeroClix. It's one of those things of we're offering you the alternative. It's up to you to take it because it's all you're gonna get. And I mean, that's why I'm getting an Arctic Hiss. If I had the original Hiss, I would not be buying an Arctic one.
A lot of people have said the same thing, but hey, and listen, that Arctic Hiss does look pretty freaking awesome, though, right?
Yeah, it looks okay for a very conditional diorama setup. Yes,
sure.
I mean, you know what I mean. That's why I don't think we see so much for Arctic characters or scuba characters. You don't see much of that because it's or people in their flight suits and stuff because we don't there's nothing for them to do,
Agreed.
Which brings me back to one thing. Watching G.I. Joe this morning or today, I'm trying to remember the episode. It was one of the miniseries. It was the Revenge of Cobra, I believe.
Okay. Yep. Love it.
And so like Ace is flying around, and he's got a bail. He's talking about how Duke's gonna kill him because that's like the third airstriker this month. Why the fuck is your name Ace? You apparently suck. If
Right,
they're just
right.
totally shooting you down all the time.
For sure, for sure. Sister Arsenal says, I would buy every character and Panic at the North Pole. Brother, I agree. Right? They could just go like imagine how they did the mass device. Imagine if they wind up doing something like, how in the movie they're in that Arctic scene with the BET. You could give us all of those guys too. But Panic at the North Pole, brother, that's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
we have the polar bear, and we're getting Lady J and Flint,
Right, right, right.
so
Quinn,
we're halfway there.
Quinn. Yeah, we got to get Quinn. Cal says Blizzard, Sub Zero, and Quinn as well. Dude, that Sub Zero figure is awesome. That Sub Zero has so much cool shit. It was like, that was almost like the Joe's version of the Snow Serpent, right? Because of how much equipment he came with. He also came with that little missile thing that the Snow Serpent did. It was something very similar. He's got the M60, big, cool backpack, like a bunch of shit. Yeah, he is, and I do believe it. Jeremy Kimberlin, I believe it is his favorite snow. What you call it there? Favorite snow character, which is I got to go with Blizzard. But then again, Blizzard is an all time figure for me uh, of any kind. I'll never forget the first time I got it and looking in the back and like realizing that his skis attached to his backpack in a way that formed some kind of like a thing that he could ride on. And after that, it was forget about it. I fucking love that figure. It was on after that. Like I could not stop playing with it, messing with it. He was definitely my favorite. That's why I was so happy. I think that's what kind of started it all. Is I saw Shockwave, the 3 3/4 was relatively cheap, but then I saw that I could get this totally complete and minty for like $28 shipped, and I was like, oh yeah, no, you got to give that to me because I mean, dude, look at this guy. Look at how awesome. Look at those shoes. The skis come off. He can put the skis on, or he can turn it into his little backpack, whatever the hell you want to call it, rocket ship. With all that said, in all due respect to everybody, my favorite is this was a lovely gift. I have the ultra minty alley viper because to me this is 3 3/4 perfection. So that's that. We already got the Arctic Quick Kick and Storm Shadow. Wow, that's funny. Yeah, because all he needs is just a no shirt. Homeboy just doesn't do anything. Um, and why I got him out, Lightfoot. Give us Lightfoot. I want Lightfoot. And as much as I will be happy with a Night Force Lightfoot, I want the regular Lightfoot. Or give us the mainline Night Force, but I'm going to need that retro. But I just want him to have all his little bots and stuff. Um, yeah. While we were sitting here messing around, it was already half opened, so I just went ahead and opened it all the way. Is my diver 2-pack. I mean, they're cool figures, but the Joe, and I know it's cartoon accurate, but the Joe Yellow just looks crazy. You know what I mean? That's just nuts. Like you can't hide from anybody in that big ass yellow. So it is
Well,
what it is. It is what it is.
coral reef.
Yeah, I know, right? I do like it though. I'm not gonna lie. It is they are cooler figures. I have kept a carded set. I was lucky enough. I got a bear, a second polar bear off of Conrad because I'm going to keep a display carded, the breaker, the diver set, and the Snake Eyes polar bear. It's going to be that whole mass device thing. I'm going to keep that carded for sure. I just got those. Yeah, no, for sure. Listen, they're definitely cool. It'll be nice when I get it all set up though. I have to open a bunch of eels. I do have listen, those 60th anniversary divers, you can't beat those. They come with so much gear. It's all so amazing. I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable to be honest with it. How awesome they are. And overall, those 60th anniversary lines don't get enough play from people because I know the sniper, the ghillie suit is whatever, if you don't like that, but the Halo jumpers, dude, the figure alone on those with the camo and like all the shit on there, dude, they are off the hook. So pretty stoked about that. I only have one infantry soldier. But I'm not going to make that mistake again when they come out with the special forces, the one that they just had with the skull alternate head, and it's the legacy one. Woo! I'm going to have me a few of those. Chris from Sister Arsenal says someone posted a Toys R Us and with all the exclusive Night Force. Oh my God. That's yes, Chris. I've seen that before. It's awesome. That is yes, I know what you're talking about for sure. I need that Night Force Outback. Dude, we need it classified. Yeah, for sure. It was heavily rumored that originally that the Beachhead Quick Kick 2-pack was supposed to be Beachhead Outback. I've never heard really why they wound up changing it, but all I know is as much as I love that Quick Kick and I think it's cool, I think we would all agree that we would really so much rather have a fucking that Night Force Outback. Right there on the top of my open pile is the Tiger Force Outback because that is just a phenomenal figure, and I got to get that out of the package to take some pics with that. I mean, how cool is that figure? I did just buy a second head because I heard from somebody that if you it was right here. Somebody said pop off the Falcon Night Force head and pop the Outback on there, and it's a pretty decent, Outforce Nightback. But I forgot that for some reason I didn't get the neck. I just got the head, so I don't think it's going to work in the same way Matt from Mo's Mind was like, nah, man, you got to get the neck for that too. That shit don't fit. So, yep, pretty crazy. Shout out to my dude Cletus a Cobra. He reached out one day. He was in his Walmart and they had a heavy duty that was on sale, which I told him to send me, and I'm in turn sending it to Chris from Sister Arsenal. It is a figure that nobody wants to pay for because we know we don't like it, but we have to have it to like confirm that we don't like the way that it looks. No, with that being said, I'm glad that I got it. I think they misstickered mine, and it said like $12 or something like that. But yeah, I got it for $12. I was happy that I decided to get it at that price, and it does sit. He does sit in the armadillo, which I have to finish that armadillo so I can show everybody. But it does sit in the armadillo. The weapon system. It looks like he is just. It's just part of the armadillo. Like it's crazy how perfectly it sits in there. So that'll be interesting when I can get all that together. Heavy duty rolling into town with an armadillo full of, a crazy missile system. Just absolutely insane. So one thing about the divers that I like is that I can probably put that mask on other figures. And then I do have this right here. So that's exciting. I tried to put the 60th anniversary divers stuff onto Beachhead just to see him get out of the water with like some of the gear on, and it didn't fit as well as I wanted it to. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if any of this is any different. The packs look kind of similar, but I mean, on Beachhead wouldn't look that. The yellow wouldn't look that bad. I could also try to dye the hoses or paint them or something like that. So yeah. Well, I know I have to get up early and actually do an insane amount of work in my second floor of my house tomorrow. So today I went upstairs. There was all the remainder of all that old nasty fiberglass insulation that was just piece here, piece there. I did the bulk of it when I had my last dumpster, and I built like that whole chute where I could push everything down. But I got to wait before I get my next dumpster so I can put everything in it at once and not tie it up for a week. My friend doesn't mind, but I know that's costing him money if he can't get a dumpster out somewhere. He's not making money off of it sitting in my fucking driveway. So I was trying to put a plan together. I bagged up the rest of the insulation. I swept up there. I've got insulation people coming on Monday morning. They're going to be here at 8:30, and I got to be ready for them. So I did a lot of the nasty work tomorrow when I'm up there. I have to go in between each roof joist, right where the roof meets the wall, and right at that connection in between each set of joists, I have to cut a piece of wood, slide it to the end, and screw it. So when they spray, it's somewhere that starts, right? It starts the bay of insulation. So if here's a joist, they just spray in between from the floor all the way up to the top. I'm getting the open cell. So what it does is they let it expand out past the the face of the joist. And then they use this big long blade that goes in a sawzall and it just touches each joist and boop, and they trim it back. So I got to make sure that like all my wires ran. I got to make sure that all the which you're not getting any snow Monday. I'm supposed to be getting like 18 inches. Yes, brother. As far as I know, these guys are still coming. My only problem is now, I have to get up early. I'm pretty sure I'm going to try to see if my mom will take the kids overnight because they're not going to have school, and I'll have to drive them there in the morning. Yeah, 5 to 6 here tomorrow for Stevie. Basically, I think it's starting here tomorrow. We're gonna get 5 or 6 during the day, and then at fucking night, it's gonna wind up coming down harder. And by mid morning, I think on Monday we're supposed to have a fuck ton of snow, and it keeps going up, right? As we're as the day went on today, and I kept going back and looking at the Weather Channel, it was ultimately it was like we're going to get 3 inches over the course of 2 days, and then it turned into we were getting 6 to 9 inches, and then I think the last one I saw was 12 to 15. But then I think one of my kids said, "Daddy, it went down. We're only going to get 6 to 9 inches," and I was like, "I'm not looking at that anymore. I'm not going to ride this train of the emotional up and down." Fucking yeah, but yeah, Cal is. Oh, right. Yes, Cal, you're right up here too. You're over closer to the ocean, but hopefully, listen, I love snow. I don't mind snow blowing and all that, but like that last storm we got, that was like 18 inches, dude. I had to go out there and snow blow like 4 times because the shit was just coming down so hard, and it was so like, oh, at first it was wet and heavy. The last like 9 hours, it was all fluff. So I only had to do it really that one time. But no, I have to get my ass up early tomorrow. I tried to get a guy that does a lot of work for me. I tried to get him to come help me, but yeah, this kind of all happened last minute. I've been looking for an installation person. I knew I had a lifelong friend. Like I said, we're not super close, but I've known her. I've known this girl forever, and she owns her own insulation company. She was going to give me a wicked deal. I like told her roughly. She gave me a rough estimate, and I said, "Please, you got to let me know when you can come look at this to make sure." And then and she was like, "Well, did you gut it yet?" And I hadn't started gutting it, and I was like, "No, but I'm going to start it in like 2 weeks. I'll call you back when I'm getting there." And I reached out to her, and I just literally never heard back from her. So I was a little frustrated there. But then the luck would have it. I was at one of my 50 cousins' houses a couple weeks ago looking at stuff and linked up with another guy. And so here he comes. He's got his own business, and he's coming with a crew 8:30 Monday morning. They're going to knock that out. So tomorrow I have to put, I think it's 38 bays. I have to cut 38 pieces of wood, put them in, screw them, and then overhead, like where the peak is like this, I have pieces of wood that go across that form the old ceiling. Well, I'm raising the ceiling to have a much higher deal. So I actually gotta put the get move them up. So bunch of shit. If my dad does not come and help me tomorrow, I will need every damn bit of the time I have, especially if we do wind up getting this massive storm where I got to be out there all the time. So yeah, I'll most likely be reaching out to my mom and saying, please take these kids so I don't have to get them dressed in the morning, drive them in a nasty storm to your house so I can make sure I'm here for these insulation guys. And let me tell y'all, when even this guy giving me a killer price, it is so expensive. If you've never looked and you don't know how much that shit costs, I'm spending a lot of money, but I have to do it because that part of my house gets sun. The roof, it's one side all day. It goes over from sun up to sundown. My roof gets pounded on, and anybody that's got an attic knows. You ever go up in your attic and it's like 1,000,000,000 degrees? Well, that's why, because your joists aren't insulated. Most attics, the floor of the attic is insulated, right? So the heat stops on the ceiling of the second floor, and then they just have like attic venting. But it's like 150 degrees up there in the summer if it's not vented right. And because of the way the rooms were built and where the sun, like it was, let me put it to you this way: in the summer, our national grid bills there was $550, $600. That was July and August, because that we had a 10,000 BTU in one room and an 8,000 BTU in the other, and it barely kept it like habitable. That's how hot it was. Wintertime, not a big deal, because the hot air just naturally rises up there, and it's fine. But dude, holy shit, was the summertime was not fun. My kids' room would cool off enough, but like when I was in there, you could feel the battle of the hot and the cold and the moisture and the humidity, and I just was like, all right, that's it. This year we're fucking biting a bullet. I'm gonna rip all this fucking shit out of here, and we're gonna do it for sure. What was that, Stevie?
I was showing Kal-El something. I wanted to know if he had those.
Of course he does. I mean, in a box, in a carded form, he does. I don't know what they are.
You can see through Zartan's chest.
Oh yeah,
These were they were the superhero. They did superhero ones, Superhero Squad, but they did GI Joes. This was a Snake Eyes Zartan 2-pack. They came with Timber.
Oh yeah, nice. Open. He's got them open. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Our carded king. Yeah, no, the more into the classifieds I get, I'm finding that I like buying an extra one to keep it carded. I don't know. Especially ones like the Ninja Force Zartan. I was actually gonna buy a bunch of those.
I don't even know why. No, I'm not getting any of that one.
Well, only because I feel like it's going to be one of those things like the dial tone, the crystal ball, for trades that people who didn't wind up getting. I mean, dude, I have a Pulse membership. I could have easily went and ordered fucking 5 of them. You know what I mean? But he still has the packages. Yes, I love it. I love that about you, Cal.
I used to keep all the packaging. I can't do it anymore. I got my GI Joe boxes, but that kind of stuff. Yeah, but no, I want to try to get 2 Zoranas though, not Zorana, but
Sonya.
Yeah, because I want the second Swamp Skier for Zartan.
For sure.
But I mean, geez, right there's $120, I think. Isn't she 60?
Well, I think so. I'm sure there's going to be people who are selling just the swamps here, right? And you can probably cut costs that way. I mean, I think when it's still I'm sure it'll come around to that where you'll be able to, because there was people, the Fort mod was so not easy to get. That was part right with them and Dial Tone where the pre-orders were at the same time. And I think that was the issues with the dial tone was the switching of the factories. And so I think what happened is the Fort mod wasn't as plentiful because of that same issue. And so that's why the Fort mod got expensive. But every once in a while, if you're looking, you can find somebody selling the figure for $30 or selling just the Fort mod itself for $30-$35. And shout out to my dude Jeremy for hooking me up, by the way. So I got, here it is, Fort mod in a box. Very stoked to get my display, but because my brother only sends me extra stuff, it's going to be hard for me to try and show it. So I got what appears to be some really awesome, I don't even know, that is some crazy railgun looking stuff. And he's got there's just a bunch of this stuff that's in here. I'm not positive exactly because it looks like it's all modular and that there's ammo cans, maybe it's okay. Here we go. So some of this. Now this is a Kotobukiya. Looks like it's Asian of some kind, and it's just a really but no, this is so that's what it is. This is actually meant to be handheld. And guess what? I have uses for that. I have different Crimson Alley Vipers and I kind of wanted all my trench Vipers to have these. because the cool part about it is they can hold the shield right over their arm and hold that front part of the Gatling, and then this part in the back, and it actually looks like they're protecting themselves with the shield, but about to unfurl a whole coil of whatchamacallits at you. So,
Well,
so
because you brought that up, you know what I find funny too is the um, the Cobra Fort, of course, is sold out.
yeah.
There's plenty of the Joe
Oh,
one.
yeah. Oh my God, this moves. You can wind it up. Oh, holy hell. Yeah, brother, right? You can find that just about everywhere. Um, I think it's still up on Pulse also.
Yeah, it is. It's where I'm at.
So that is a little crazy. But yeah, I don't know if I can. I've looked at it and I don't think it's bad. The only thing is that I only like I only like the Cobra one because it matches like the bar and from Mosemine, and it reminds me of the battle bunker, right?
Right.
That little blue bunker that they had. It kind of reminds me of that, and that's why I like it. But when I look at the Joe one, I'm kind of like, I do like that it has the missile, right? It comes with the Stinger missiles that go on like the top, and I think that that's okay. And I did see somebody, and now, well, truth be told, now that GI Customs has made those swinging doors and they're not that expensive, I think I can get a set for $30. Having that as like an entryway, I think would be super cool to go along with like. But I have the outpost, the bar. I can like put all that together. It's just I don't know. What do you think about it? Does that interest you at all? Looking at that one?
No.
No.
I mean that's the thing. It's like it just goes to show you, like, for example, if there are no good Cobras out, you know, for sale, there's not really anything I'm really looking for too much. Like I still need sci-fi and I'd like to get mainframe, but at the
Sure.
same time, I want I'm always itching for like the next Cobra guy, like whether like the female Crimson Guard or something like that, you know what I mean? So
Right.
it
Right.
is so it's also kind of a suck thing that, for example, like the snake armors, the claws, like all that stuff sold out, sold out, sold out. And yeah,
Right. Right.
I could have bought them earlier, of course, but at the same time, you can have the GI Joe missile launcher thing with Hawk, that's not sold out. It just shows that people want this other stuff rather than it's I guess the bad boy image kind of thing.
Sure. Sure. I mean, Cobra has always had that kind of like that little more badass feel to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, I when I was a kid, I loved buying my Joes. Like
Uh,
I thought the Joes were awesome. I say I'm pretty sure I initially had more of them, I think, more
mm,
Joes. And then as time went on, I started buying more of the Cobra guys. But yeah, no, that's just the Cobra blue, that navy blue with the red. That shit always had me like crazy big time. I thought it was
right.
awesome, and then you added a little bit of the red, but then they also had it where like some of the things were black, and I thought that I can remember as a kid being like, why wouldn't they want them all one color? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why are they not you fucking uniform or whatever? But no, once the time went on and you started to get it a little more, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it now. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. Pretty
Well,
awesome to say the
I
least.
think it has to do with like that whole underdog thinking. Like you want the enemy to be like overwhelming so that in your head when these battles play out, you know, you can overcome, and it kind of makes us relate to our own lives in a way
Mm,
of what like you think about it, like my situation for a while was just like every day was just like I gotta get through this, I gotta keep going,
sure,
and
sure.
every shitty customers or whatever, it's freaking Cobra Commander yelling at me all the time, and it's like trying to get through it, and I'm only one guy, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna complete this mission and move on. And I think that's why people army build. You don't really see too many people army building Joes.
No,
I
I
get.
well,
I mean,
I
you
did.
do, but not to the extent of Cobra.
Sure, sure. No,
I
no,
mean,
definitely not.
look at your wall behind you, man. How many
Yeah,
snakes you got? How many
yeah.
claws? How many
No, it's
trouble bubbles?
for sure, for sure. No, they're all. That is definitely for sure all it is. Those things have to be in multiples to look good. It's so the army built for sure. I'm trying to think so I do have a bunch of grunts, which I think that's a phenomenal figure. So they do look fantastic when you're army building. The what was the other one? Footloose. I'm army building with Footloose. I have three of them. They just look, you can't say no. They just look too perfect like that for sure. Well, if you get one of each of the Joes, you're army building the Joe army. Right, right, right.
True.
I like it. I like it. That's a
Good
good
thing I
one.
didn't get each one.
Right, right.
Well,
Um,
that's the thing with like hit and run. Like, I was actually upset when they previewed them, like, because I do like the figure,
okay.
but I wish he had an alternate head that wasn't camoed. Um,
I think Cal said that same thing. You
the
know,
weird thing though is I got the green shirt, the retro green shirt fig, and I was looking at his head sculpt. His face matches hit and runs almost perfectly, except his ears are slightly bigger and his hair is wrong. And
really.
Hasbro really missed something here. If they would have made that a non-camoed hit and run head and just seen how long it took somebody to spot that and figure out that Easter egg,
Right, right,
that would have been awesome.
right. That's true. That's fun. Uh, yeah, I feel like isn't there another one that was very similar? That
The Halo jumper, he's all camoed. Is that what you
Oh
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what. Okay. So as I remember people talking about, like, oh, I can make a custom hit and run with this. This looks perfect, and I was like,
Yeah,
and you look at it and you're like, well, yeah, yeah, that looks exactly like a fucking hit and run. So
it
yeah,
does.
that is pretty cool. I
Yeah,
have to agree there.
I wish he had an alternate head though, because yeah, because I mean, it's fine, but like when you're building dioramas and stuff, everybody's like yeah, they're still in their battle togs and everything, but then you have this one dude who's just all camoed out.
Right. It's still got it.
It's like, what are you doing,
Still got
dude?
the face
But I mean, I
paint
guess
on
you
it.
could say that with Beachhead, like Beachhead. Why are you wearing your balaclava all the time?
Yeah,
But at least you know, I don't know.
I
That's just
feel
me though.
no, dude. I feel like the balaclava thing is just not the same as that 100% zero exposed skin. Fucking, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
Snake Eyes walking around.
oh, dude. So let me ask you. You do like an alley viper too. Between the trench viper, the crimson alley viper, and the OG alley viper, who's your favorite?
Well, I have to say Crimson only because I don't have a Trench Viper and I don't like to pick figures I don't own.
Okay,
But
respect.
but if I had a Trench Viper, the Trench Viper might do it. But because of the availability of the Trench Viper, the Crimson Viper is easier to get a hold of. So I would have to go with the Crimson Viper anyway. If
Okay,
the Trench
okay.
Viper was like the Crimson Viper and you could just buy them, then it might be the Trench Viper, but only because it's Cobra Blue for the most part. So it kind of goes with everything else. I always felt that I like the look of it. The reason I like the Crimson Alley Viper more than the original is it's the color scheme.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
orange and blue just doesn't do it for me. If it
I'm
was
with
the
it.
only one available, yeah, it would because it's the only choice you have. But the red one just looks really nice. And to me, like it's not even like the Zaymont and Tomax are not in charge of those dudes. They're just Cobra dudes, you know.
Right, right. Right.
Because they never had that in the comic or the cartoon that I can remember, that they had their own specialized team of alley vipers and
Yep.
crips and
Yep.
bats and all that. And that's just like a money grab for Hasbro. Not being negative, but that's all it is, in my opinion.
Just showing this off real quick. Bearded Sumo says he needs to get more. Brother, I have been trying to find a way to get as many as I can without going crazy. The problem is that even if you find somebody selling it without the 4 mod, they still want 40, $50, right? The package itself is easily selling for 100 to 115, at least reasonably. You'll see there's obviously yo-yos out there asking you for, $1.50 or whatever, but 100, $115, which, I just want a bunch more trench vipers. So I now officially have three of the fort mods. And like I said, I just want to have 2 on one side, 1 on the other with the swinging gate. And then that's it. I don't think I want 2 and 2. I want it to be two stacked, the doors, just 1, and then the bar from Moe's Mine. That's the gauntlet you have to run to get into those gates, right? Is have the you'll have the dual 50s sandbags out in front, but then the way the bar stretches along the side, you've got the twin Vulcan cannons, that'll be right there. You ain't gonna fare too well. You'll slide to there. Cal says it's like the show. Flint knocked out a Cobra soldier and wore the uniform, but kept his beret on like it was normal. Right. And was it Mutt? He didn't have his helmet on. He actually just had the hair, but the dog was with him. It was just, nothing was crazier than Snake Eyes and Snake Eyes dressing up with the blonde. That shit was just crazy.
And Shipwreck.
And Shipwreck. This is crazy. And what was the one too? Is that the same one where like the Great Snake lives forever and they have to polish it? And
okay. Well, the one I like actually too is when it was Snake Eyes, and I want to say it was Duke, but I don't know if it was, I don't think it was Duke, but where they actually had the Cobra suit with the baseball hats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that and I know that like Super 7 or whatever made figures of that. I would like to see a classified version of that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because that was a cool
I agree.
figure.
I feel like they could find a way to do it, like the Flint, right? With Flint in the Cobra uniform, keep the beret on him. That's fine. Because they did do that in the 25th anniversary line, I believe. They definitely, I looked at it. I almost bought it on eBay. And I was like, man, some guy was selling it for like $18. I could kick myself for not buying it. But yeah, put it on a retro card. He doesn't have to come with really anything. Maybe you give him a Cobra pistol. They did it. They did in the 25th. Oh, nice. That's it. Thank you, Cal. It would just be awesome, and I think they'd sell a bunch. Any of that kind of stuff. Something that I thought about. And I think maybe it's not worth doing a whole figure for, but Destro in the very first time you see Destro, when he walks up in the mass device and he's got that cloak, right?
Yeah.
And like I think if it just release an action pack for us and have like that cloak be in it, something like that would be fucking awesome. So dude, listen, speaking of the 25th anniversary line, there's some amazing figures in that line for sure. They came out the armor, the armor trooper with the bazooka, the paratrooper, the jumper. There was some other different kind of specialized trooper. Like they crushed it. That and the Pursuit of Cobra line is fucking off the hook too. I think we've all kind of mentioned that at least at some point. But yeah, that Pursuit of Cobra shit is just completely ridiculous. The low light, the beachhead, the snow job. There's a handful of them that are all just absolutely phenomenal. 3 3/4 excellence. Well, they're 4 inches. I think the Pursuit of Cobra is 4 inches, but you all get the point. It's fabulous fucking shit. So cannot go wrong there, my brother. Well, I tell you what, Stevie, I think we're gonna bring this to an end.
That's all good.
Yeah. what do you got popping? What's coming up next for Stevie Z? What's the direction of the shop? You just riding the storm, staying creative, or do you got anything particular planned?
Well, I got some blueprint shirts to make,
Yeah, yeah, bro.
but yeah, it's just it's a process. It's a lot of editing, but that and I got a couple dios going that are slow going.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but just trying to clean up my room. Really, it's a mess right now. But
Right.
yeah, other than that, I'm just doing this new job, still learning the ropes on that, and dreading my credit card bill soon since I pre-ordered two. I pre-ordered one Crimson female. I pre-ordered Dawn,
Nice.
which I usually don't pre-order anything, and I of course have the Hiss at the end of the year. Um, and then I also had to put a bunch of my car stuff on my card,
Sure, sure, sure.
but because of stupid deer. But
Oh, right, right. That's
yeah, that was like hitting a tree trunk in
oh
a in
yeah,
a
dude.
in a in a smart car, going like going like 45 miles an hour.
For sure,
So
for sure.
I'm lucky that all it did was blow my tire, but and break some plastic clips, but that hold the other plastic onto my car. Did you know that a smart car is literally the same plastic as a Power Wheels machine?
Yes, I've been hearing some horror
Yeah.
stories
I mean,
lately
it's in an iron cage. It's literally indestructible.
right,
Like
right, right.
I could run into a brick wall and be fine, but the shell would be gone. But but yeah, it's just hilarious. It literally is like this. I, the freaking Cobra Stinger is probably got better plastic than my car does. But but yeah, no, that's about all I got. Just dreading that, trying to get a few 3D prints to actually print. I'm having a lot of problem with adhesion and breakage and stuff like that.
Okay, okay.
Nothing major. Trying to learn some more about modeling and stuff, and yeah, that's about it. That's about it, man.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I'm always looking forward to what's coming next from me, brother. And honestly, there's like a handful of things that I love to talk about, but like I said, I gotta get up so fucking
You're
early.
all good, dude.
But
My
no,
eyes are
listen.
getting burny.
Nice. Well, we got to have you back, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Maybe what we could do, what anybody kind of offered this to a couple other people, but brother, if you ever or come up with something new and something that you want people to see, let me know, bro. We can always hop on even a day during the week, show off something that you've made, talk about it, promote it a little bit, let everybody know what's up, and we can even do that. So just keep that in mind. And I've also been telling people too that I'm gonna eventually start doing reaction videos to stuff that happens during the week. So I'll throw it out to a couple people, be like, hey, anybody want to jump on in 2 hours? We're gonna go on. We're gonna go live for about an hour, like keeping it light, right? Like what we talked about with Jan Antonio. Hopefully we get an episode of the Power Hour soon. Also, commission with confidence for my brother at the Bearded Sumo on all your socials. Make sure you head over, but tell them Destro sent you and take something from your imagination, get it right on paper, have it done by my brother.
And let it be known that if this was an endurance, you're the one who threw in the towel.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, 100%. Listen, there was, what was it? Oh my God, not Evil Dookie. There was somebody else too where I started to feel like shit towards the end. Like my stomach, I started to get a little nauseous and I was just like, oh my God, I can't.
Well,
Oh,
sometimes I'll be honest with you. Sometimes they're just long, man.
yeah, yeah,
You
no,
know,
for sure, for sure.
they
Uh, Our dude Cal says, "Great show, guys. Have a great night. And if you're in that storm pass, stay safe." Hey, same to you, my brother. You know how I am. I'll be out there taking videos of myself with the stupid snowblower, talking about I can't believe this is happening. So, updates from Castle Destro coming. I wanted to do it earlier today, but literally upstairs, all the fiberglass insulation shit was flying around. I was like, I'm not taking my phone out here. But no, I'll be up there tomorrow making some videos. Definitely show you all what's going on there. So thank you, brother. Thank you for all your support. Always, I appreciate it. And you're amazing in the timeline all the time. Nobody makes me get coffee out of my nose like you do. Our carded King Cal, everybody. Have a good night, brother.
Yep, you too, bud.
Also, I see Duke's Retro came in. I'm sorry, we're heading out as soon as you're getting in, my brother. But this happened like a couple weeks ago. I had a bunch of people come in at like 10:30. We were actually, I think it was with Dan. We were actually wrapping it up, and then like Mark Destro's my spirit animal came in, and it was like three other people, Jeremy, and then like three other people all came in the comments. I was like, well, I can't leave now. So I talked for like another 2 hours. So yeah, everybody, make sure you are following Paul Morales at the Toy Chamber. He's on Instagram. He's also on Twitter. Paul's an unbelievably great guy. I'd be hard pressed to find somebody that has anytime I'm appearing somewhere, Paul is always there representing well. I can't thank you enough for that, brother. And of course, I can't thank you enough for, where is he? Dun, 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 the definitive Destro. Thank you, my brother. One more time. I appreciate it. Also, big shout out to Evil Dookie. Make sure you are checking him out. That dude does amazing shit. Absolutely have to follow him on YouTube, get the notifications on so you can see he's customizing the world. It's amazing. He's like scrap iron. He doesn't want to blow up the world. He wants to customize it. It's great. Make sure you are following Pop Cult Frenzy. Make sure you are using his links when purchasing, right? That dude, it's the least we can do for him, providing almost like a stock trading ticker on the bottom of our timeline, so we all know exactly like what's going off at what and when to make the best informed, being best informed, make your purchasing decisions. Pop Cult Frenzy, y'all. Figure Fight Club. You can catch me there. I most Tuesdays I show up and I throw down on their Figure Fight Club's open mic night is Tuesday. Stevie, you'll have to come on with us sometime. We talk about a bunch of his shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, just for real. It's awesome. Anybody can come in and do all the shit. It's good. I encourage everybody who's never been on a podcast before to check that out because they're awesome. They are great guys. If you like what we do in our Twitter community, those dudes are doing it as well. Like, they gave away, I always say it all the time, on the show where they celebrated 2,000 subscribers for the YouTube channel, they gave away 48 figures. And I'm not talking about rinky-dink discount figures. I'm talking about shit that was sought after, like good, cool-ass figures. Those dudes do not fuck around. So definitely make sure you check them out. They do Suscepticast on Mondays, open mic night on Tuesdays, Friday nights they have a throwdown where they do a VIP thing. That's where I appeared. I actually hope to go on there again sometime, talk more about the upcoming year 2026 classifieds. Because dude, those dudes are awesome. That dude Abby, who runs the show, he's just a super good guy. And I'm supposed to be buying a Crimson Strike Team pack off him, and I keep forgetting to go over and send him the fucking money so he can send it. It's been like 5 days now, and every time I think of it or I see him like he was in a thing, I was like, oh my god, I gotta send the thing. Talib he loves G.I. Joe Classified, big Transformers guy, great guy. Lucid Base has joined in to the Dio crew. He's taking all kinds of pictures, doing great. I love all them guys. Make sure you're checking them out for sure. Fight Club. GI Customs. If you haven't checked out the episode that I did with him earlier in the week, make sure you go check him out. He's printing a bunch of stuff that's great. Can't beat it with a stick. Like the stuff he's got for the prices, it's just absolutely amazing. Also does a great podcast. Make sure you check that out as well. Again, if you missed it earlier, I'm now going to be one of the writers on Serpentor's Lair. If you're not on Serpentor's Lair, make sure you go get signed up so you can check out all this stuff. Watch for me on the X timeline. I know we're going to be some stuff there, so Pay attention to that, y'all. And a big shout out to my dude over at Serpentor's Lair for rolling out the red carpet and making me feel super welcome. I can't wait to catch up with all the other people, which reminds me I have to go say what's up to everybody. I was supposed to do that yesterday. I'm like so far behind on so many things. Um, of course, Destro is my spirit animal. I'm not on there tomorrow night, probably next week. Not sure. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but you can watch. Mark is going to be on my channel. It's coming up in a couple weeks. We talked about some dates. I got to confirm, but he's coming on here. We're going to have him in Viper Den Studios. I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome. Of course, don't forget, make sure you're checking out Mo's Mind Custom Design on Etsy. Make sure you're checking out Sys 3D Arsenal on Etsy. Make sure you're checking out sys3darsenal.com, which is a gorgeous website, by the way. If you're on Mo's Mind, you're using Destro Designs 10. That's the promo code, Destro Designs 10, to get your 10% off. Already great prices. The dopest shit you're going to find is on these two places. So make sure you go check them both out. It is on sys3darsenal.com. It is just Destro Designs. That's going to get you 10%. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Stevie, you did hold on. Round of applause for Stevie Zee. What a dope interview. Great art and designs. I love your work. Big Des, thanks for all the love. Have a great night. Hey, thank you for coming through, J. Antonio. Again, make commission with confidence. If you're looking for an artist to do something for you, hit my dude up. All right. He's going to give you a great price, quality product. You can't go wrong. Good shit. And make sure you're following him on all the socials too. Instagram and Twitter. He's over there at the Bearded Sumo. So yeah. Stevie Zee. I'm trying to. I didn't write it down. What is your handle, brother? It's SketchUp, right? At SketchUp.
Yeah, it's at Sketches Up. It's spelled weird. It's too hard. my brain ain't working, man.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. Anybody that's here knows where we can find you. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go back and edit my the YouTube description. That way, anybody that watches will see your handle right there for Twitter.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll put a link to it and everything like that. So, and again, brother, I really want you to take advantage of that option of, the next time you print out a new thing, and even if you're not necessarily putting it up for sale, but you want to do trades, let me know, bro. We'll do like a quick little thing. We can hop on like midweek and just do a quick thing about your new shit. People will watch. I think it'll be awesome. So keep that in mind. Flex that option and hit me up for it for sure. And dude,
no problem.
You did excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time and spending the time. We almost hit the 4-hour mark, which it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, we'll probably wrap up soon. Now here we are, a full hour later.
You two the talent, not me.
It's true. It's true. I did. I will concede to that without a doubt. I'm still going to complain in the morning. I'm still going to be exhausted, but yeah,
I will too.
I'm going to go get some dinner and then I'm going to get my ass to bed. Big shout out to the community. I love all you guys. Looking forward to wrapping up the weekend with some good stuff.
Real quick, because you were talking about it.
Yeah, sure.
So I said, what the hell? I went on AliExpress.
Yeah.
Right now, there's only it's a 1-star review.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. I forgot to click the button. I forgot to click the pictures. Never mind.
Okay. All right.
See you later.
Okay. Yeah. You can get some deals on AliExpress. I think Conrad got a couple of the troopers that had some mispainted eyes.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was like largely on the money. And I think he paid like $3 a piece for them. So
I got my first Crimson Alley Viper there for $18.
I mean, dude, an $18 Crimson Alley Viper is what it is, brother. I mean, what else are you supposed to do? $37 is a lot, bro. Even I didn't buy them at that price. I think it was like I bought 2, and then I was like, $75, man, this is brutal. And then a couple weeks later, I was like, fuck it, I'm getting 2 more. I got 2 more, and then I traded. Or no, I'm sorry, I bought 2, and then I traded Conrad for I think 4 of them. Or no, he sold me 4 at retail. He basically just said, "Here, this is what I paid for them," and so
Right.
that's how I, which was very generous of him. He was basically just giving up $60, right? It was like $15 per figure, 4 figures, and so that's how I wound up at 6. But then when Walmart dropped them in Christmas time down to what was it, $19 or $21? I think it was 21. Yeah, they dropped them down to 21, and I bought 8 more.
That was when we were talking figures. That was the other one, Shadow Tracker. That's one I
Oh
passed
yes.
on that I should
Um,
have got.
yes. Yeah, dude. That is something that I'd really like. Like I'd like to get him and then army build with it and then paint them up a little bit individually, like a whole crew. I think that would be some dope shit. Nice.
Hmm.
Well, very cool, brother. I mean, we could
See
sit
ya.
here and go on hours for
Yeah.
days. So thank you all for joining us, taking the whole ride. Everybody that's still here, I really appreciate it. Big round of applause for Stevie. We'll have him on again soon, and we're gonna wrap up this weekend out on them Twitter and Instagram streets. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
Later.